What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another exciting Art of War live stream. Today we have a great thing. We have a balance update. Games Workshop just put a new Minotaur field manual, faction packs, new everything up on Warhammer community. The app is updated, and we have the first big patch of 11th edition right now.
There is more changes than I ever expected there to be. Disposition changes, there's detachment point changes, there's points cost changes, there's FAQ changes. There's so many things going across the game, and we're going to be diving into all the different ones here.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. The changes have been thorough, comprehensive, and extensive. There is a lot to talk about. Your faction, yes, it changed. Promise.
Lock in, because we're going to be here for a bit.
Yeah, it's going to be a long one, folks. We appreciate your support as always. If you'd like to support the channel, then go ahead, subscribe, share, leave a comment, let your friends know. All that really helps us grow the channel. Of course, every time we have these new updates, we do like to follow them up with videos in the War Room as well. That's the link in the description below. You can even get a free 3-day trial.
Absolutely. So if you're looking for faction content, we're going to be putting out faction videos for all the different armies, just like we did in June. In addition, we're going to be having some new battle reports coming out with all the new updates and new combos that you're going to see. And that'll be coming very soon. So stick your eye out for that War Room at thewarroom.vhx.tv, or you can click the join button here on YouTube. The gold tier gets you access to all of the videos.
They changed agents.
They changed agents. We did it, baby. We did it.
Sorry.
Every single video we popped off on agents.
I couldn't hold it in. They did it. We'll be talking about those, of course, all in time. Really interesting things. Of course, if you're watching this live and you want to support, if you want to give us any super chats, we do appreciate that. We will answer all super chats that are given during the stream, but we are probably going to save those to the end.
Yeah, so we'll be very likely, obviously after this intro, we're going to do the MFM. We're going to go through all the different factions and their points changes. Then we're going to do some of the faction FAQs. Some of them have like some minor changes, but we're going to go through a couple of the major ones, and then we will talk about two of the changes that happened in the event companion and the team's companion that will impact your games. And then we'll do the super chats. So it's going to be buckle up. There's going to be a long ride.
Oh, yeah. All right.
You want to start off? We're going to do alphabetical order here, starting off with the Adepta Sororitas.
Yeah, we're just going to do MFM first.
Yep, MFM, we're going to go straight through it, so you can click on, if you're wondering where it is, and you don't want to search through your app for every single unit's points, just go over to Warcom, and if you scroll down on the 40K downloads page, at the bottom, there's an MFM link. You click that.
That's at the bottom.
It's at the bottom below the different PDFs you can click on. You click on that yellow button, and bam, it'll pop up where you can select through the different factions.
I've just been typing in mfm.warhammer community because I didn't know where the link was. All right, well, thank you, Adrian.
This is why I'm a tech priest. Okay?
There you go. That's why we keep them around. All right, so Sisters were generally considered to be in a below average spot going in, but then they've had some stand-up performances.
Yep, so recently in Tacoma too.
Especially recently. So they're having mostly points drops. We can see that there were, I think, some changes to Sacrosanct, but like I think that was just that like the third unit doesn't go up as much as before.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe they had a harsher
even though it's highlighted
cost.
red, I don't know why it's highlighted red. I think that's cheaper than before.
I believe so. I believe they were quite pricey on the
Dominion's cheaper, Hospitaler's cheaper, Magifier cheaper, Immolator, Intransia Fray, Junith. Junith's gonna have a rules change. Morvenval up in points. They just cannot come up with a number they like
It's
for her.
her and Iron Striders, they just go up every time.
Every time. I mean, look, are you telling me the Sisters players are going to cut Vault?
Nope.
Not a chance.
You will find 15 points in the list, and that'll come from those
it's
Dominion
coming out
drops.
of your Immolators and Intransia Fray. A lot of these are really interesting buff. Repentia down. Seraphim down. Novitiates down. I think the Rhino had a flex where the first 65
Yeah, so
for
John,
a Rhinoceros?
Yep, there is going to be a game-wide change that we're going to see for most armies in that transports have gone down either 5 to 10 points pretty much across the game for most of them. There's a couple exceptions, but by and large, things like the Rhino, the Truck and Orks, the Devilfish and Tau, all these things are going to go down. So you'll benefit for Emperor's Children. You're going to get your Rhino down.
65 for
65
a Rhino?
That's a very cheap, durable skirmish unit that requires some sort of more commitment.
I mean, just as an action pusher.
Yeah, it's great.
That's
kind
of crazy.
Yeah, my Grey Knight list goes down mostly on the back of Razorbacks, right?
Yeah, so a lot of the things that have gone down here are like the support pieces and the skirmish pieces. And those are all good things to lose points on, but I don't think you're going to make an army entirely out of them. So I could see most Sisters lists gaining 20 to 30 points after you eat the Vol nerf and being happy about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing crazy here, but nice to see a little bit of a bump down.
Yeah.
I think Intransia Fray and Hospitalers are the two that stand out to me.
Yeah, the thing to note here about the Hospitaller is that there is a rules change to how the healing mechanic works, which you can't bring back characters when healing. So if you had a double lead going on, you wouldn't be able to bring back the Canoness or something like that. In addition, if you're playing Hollowed Martyrs and you use the stratagem to stand back up your character, usually it would be the Hospitaller. Previously, you could bring back Sacrosands after that. Now, that stand back up character is just a single unattached model when it comes back.
Yep.
So you can't heal back the bodyguard unit. So that makes sense. A nice little decrease
They're
there.
invalid, I think.
I mentioned the transport change, and then Junith, there's another kind of game-wide change, although there are some exceptions, which is that units that had -1 to hit, which would stack with the new cover of -1 ballistic skill, quite powerful defensive combo, they have now received a rules change to take that to stealth, which is cover, and -1 to hit in melee. And we're seeing some drops on those type of units now.
Yeah.
So Junith does get that drop.
-10 in that context, I think is perfectly fair.
+1 CP character, really good right now. Yeah, I would take her for sure. And then we do have some changes here at the bottom.
Oh, yes, we do.
Which is that we're going to get a detachment cost change for Bringers of Flame. This used to be the dominant style when the Codex came out. Very much a guns ablazing type of style, and benefits a lot from Immolators going down. That is 2 DP now instead of 3, which means Sisters have significantly more combos. And with priority assets as kind of a game standard good disposition to choose,
not mad about that.
You know, you can grab a different one, but you have baseline a good one to play.
Yeah, a lot of the changes that we've seen for dispositions are going to be revolving around Purge the Foe.
Yes.
So we'll be noting that as it comes up.
Yeah, the data suggests from what I've seen that Purge the Foe was by far the most taken force disposition over the last 4 weeks. In addition to that, the win rate of it was a little bit below 50%, but part of that is the fact that it was taken so often. The next most taken was Take and Hold, and then priority assets actually had the highest win rate out of the dispositions, I believe 52 to 53%.
Very interesting.
They're all pretty close together, but Disruption is the lowest win rate.
Makes sense. So I think that was the only change we saw for Sisters. No, we also saw Penitent Host had its force disposition changed. I think it was Taken Hold. Now it's Purge the Foe.
Now is Purge.
And a bunch of cheaper enhancements. And we also saw cheaper Repentia. That's actually quite nice.
Yeah, I think Sisters are going to be loving these changes and really excited. So great job to Games Workshop there. Moving on, next up we have the Adeptus Custodes, and there's going to be a variety of different drops here. You get the Anathema Rhino goes down, Alea goes down a bit. I still have never seen that model on the table, but maybe eventually.
Maybe one day.
Custodian Wardens, which is one of the core infantry units here, does get a 10-point drop. It is one of the big beneficiaries of Hidden for Phenopain, but it does get a nice drop here for Custodes players. In addition, Venatari get a base drop, but increase if you want to play the Lance version, which is typical.
I don't know why the Lance version went up. Why did the Lance Venatari go up? Like, why?
They didn't want to make the base cost that much cheaper, is my guess, but they wanted the Lance to be an option that you consider. This is the unfortunate part about the 5-point increments. Realistically, the Lance should be like 1 point, point additional or 2 points additional at most. Same thing for some of the crisis weapon options. This is showing the limits of we're only doing things in increments of 5.
Yeah, just unfortunate to see that 3 Lance Venatari went up 5 points for a reason that not even the Emperor could understand.
But you can think about the pistol version.
Yeah, so not many changes for Custodes. I think we saw some enhancements. Yeah,
it's a good enhancement.
From the Hall of Armories went down 5. That's actually a very solid enhancement to go down.
The main thing is there's a disposition change.
Yes, there is.
Might the Moritoi is become Take and Hold, which means for a 1 DP, you can always access Take and Hold if you want with Custodes, which is one of their best dispositions.
But it does mean that you can no longer access Purge the Foe.
True.
Which is, again, a theme for the 1 DP detachments. Yes. We're gonna go looking for Purge the Foe 1 DPs and see what we can find.
So that is the changes for Custodes. So not too many changes. Seems like they're quite happy with Custodes overall. What we've been seeing recently is a big shift towards Alaris Custodians. Part of that is the fact that they rip up monster character units and big hordes. Yeah.
So and vehicles.
And vehicles. We'll see if there's any hordes that still exist, perhaps of the green variety a little bit later.
Yeah. And if not, maybe they'll pivot to vehicles.
And we have the Adeptus Mechanicus. All right.
Yeah.
So Hastari Exterminators, a unit that you've probably never seen. I've actually been testing it recently. It did go down 10 points base, so it is a little bit cheaper than the Fusiliers, which is the Lascan variant. I like this a lot. It's a lot more competitive than it was previously. It still might be a little bit pricey, but I quite like the unit now. Iron Striders, the 3-model version, goes up 10 points, which...
Good. Sorry, that's reflexive.
Admech's all the way towards the bottom. Can we not increase Iron Striders? They were fine where they were. I think this is just perhaps it is due to the detachment change that we'll see in a second. But overall, it's not the end of the world. You'll find the extra points for them. Cataphront Breachers and Destroyers, their 6-model unit goes down. So not quite half for the Breachers just yet. Frankly, 3 Breachers at 150 is a ludicrous price point, so hopefully that'll get changed in the future. But I've been running the Cataphrons more recently, the Destroyer variant, and I've been liking that unit. 200 points, nice little drop there.
I did not realize the Breacher was that many more points per model.
It's because they have the full rerolls if they're near battle line.
Yeah.
The issue is that you used to step out, full rerolls them, and then you'd full rerolls on Overwatch, and you get 2 activations out of them. Now, you're only ever really getting the 1. So, yeah, a little bit pricey for them. Skystalkers don't come down, a little unfortunate there as well, but the large model units of Cerberus Raiders and Sulfur Hounds come down 10 points. I still don't think you'll see those, but they're getting closer to maybe.
Sure.
Scutari Vanguard go down 5 points. Not a bad choice with a Scutari Marshal. It's a pretty efficient anti-infantry package. And with the boat going down, the Scorpius Dune Rider, that unit is pretty tasty, I think. It used to be one of our most efficient damage packages in a Conqueror style list. So Dune Rider down 10 points. I think 75 is perfectly reasonable. I think, as we'll see from some of the other transports, some of their drops were a little bit crazier, but the Dune Rider at 75 is perfectly fine. It's kind of hard to hide. It's pretty big.
It is pretty bulky.
And then we have for the detachments here, the primary one is that Halo Screed Battleclade, one of the 2 3DPs for Admech. It was previously Purge the Foe, and so it meant both 3 DPs were Purge the Foe for Admech. Now it is priority assets, and I think that is a huge upgrade. Halo Screed was the dominant number 1 win rate style for Admech in 10th edition, and this change opens it back up dramatically. You don't have to over-tailor for playing a Purge style. You can run your cheap units, and it has a reactive move, so it can do something like the Combi LT and Space Marines. You tow into the middle, you do the action, you get your points, you reactive move back. So I'm very excited to play Halo Screed again. I think it's a great detachment, and I'm really excited about that overall. In terms of anything else, that's kind of the most things for Admech. They did get a change in their faction FAQ, which is that the Rad Zone rule was updated. Instead of the first round Battle Shock falling off at the end of the battle round, it now is just a Battle Shock. If you take the take cover version of it, you're just battle shocked. You'll get to potentially roll it in your command phase if you go first and try and unbattle shock yourself. But if you fail that, you are going to stay in the battle shock cycle
until you get out of it.
You get out of it. So interesting little change there. But otherwise, I think Admech is kind of sitting pretty because a lot of other really strong things, as we'll get to, are going up in points, and that's going to help a lot.
Yeah, the first 3 factions that we've seen here are all ones that I would have said were at or below average.
Yeah.
For my perception of them going into this. And they all got probably net better. I know 10 points on the Iron Striders, you're offsetting with some things, but you got a detachment change.
The Halo Screed change is big, in my opinion.
But then, like, after that, I'm just looking at it, I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
But not too many things went down here.
Yeah, there's not a lot of things that got cheaper. And so a little bit cheaper is going to feel good when we look at the armies later that go up a lot.
Yeah, this is the case where at the beginning of 11th edition, the first points thing, they increased the points on several of the power factions at the end of 10th edition. And then a variety of other factions kind of stayed in that. They went up like 50 points instead of 100, 150 points. Now we're going to see the really good factions are going to go up like 80, 100 plus points. And then and then the armies that are kind of in the middle zone, they might go down slightly or be roughly the same, but they're going to benefit a lot from the meta changes. So, Aeldari. Aeldari is an army that has also been a below average, and they got quite a few decreases here, in addition to some detachment changes, disposition changes that are very impactful, I think. The Arctar comes down. You never really see him. The Avatar getting more and more closer to playable.
250 is...
250 is not bad.
That's starting to...
It's cool. It's cool. I love the Avatar.
250 is not that many points.
Such a cool model.
Okay.
Wayleaper comes down. The Sky Reavers, which I've frankly never seen on the table yet. The Void Scarred, not the Void Reavers, go down a little bit. Void Scarred are still probably going to be seen as the main option. The Farseer goes down. This is really good news for Seer Council, which typically runs at least one of those. And then the Farseer Skyrunner also goes down by 10. So some nice decreases for the Psychers here.
At 60 points, a Farseer Skyrunner is now viable as a standalone unit in my mind.
Because, it is a leader, not a support piece like the Warlock Skyrunner.
Yep.
Or no, the Warlock Skyrunner.
The Warlock Skyrunner is also was
leader.
independent, but now, as we're about to see, it's only 5 points more. You got a lot of guns for 5 points more.
That is true. The Farseers do shoot. Shining Spears down 5 points, down 10 for the larger unit. And then Shroud Runners down 5. Nice little unit to strip cover.
Okay.
Swooping Hawks get 5 decrease on their 5 model units for both the first, and second, and third. And then Warlock Skyrunners do go up 10 points here. So it's very typical in Seer Council to see 3 of these solo ones. As John said, you're probably going to see some amount of switching to Farseers depending on your points. Yeah. Warp Spiders, massive change here, down 10 points. The auto take Lycus unit, so your every Eldar list basically is going to get 10 points back here. And then you also get 5 points off of the third unit, which we typically weren't seeing, but definitely the first 2 helps a lot. Warwalkers, the 2 model unit, not typically seeing. Wave Serpent goes down, part of that transport change. 6 model Wind Riders go up. Tucker, what do you have to say about that, buddy? The old Wind Rider host, and then Wraith Knights of the both varieties go down. Death Jester, Skyweavers, and the Shadow Seer go down as well, and then the Starweaver base cost for the first 3 goes down.
Okay.
Yunari Raider and Venom as well to follow the Drukhari changes. So some nice decreases here. No, besides Warp Spiders and Swooping Hawks, none of them are like we're spamming these.
Yeah.
But in different builds like Seer Council, you'll
very easy to imagine Eldar list getting 30 to 40 points back, though. That helps.
Now, the big change here is going to be in the fact that, what is it called? A Warhost here was previously Purge the Foe. And famously, Eldar are not an army that appreciates Purge the Foe.
No.
I don't know why it was Purge the Foe in the first place, but it was. And then it has since become Recon, which is a much better disposition for Aeldari in general. And you can play a variety of styles in Warhost. So that's one of the better sets of rules previously in 10th edition. It did get nerfed. Has a nice boost of life here, which is, I think, something that they're going to definitely appreciate. I believe that is going to be the only detachment change here for the... No, there was one other one. It was Eldritch Raiders, which has switched to Purge the Foe. It's taken that spot, which... It's 2 DP, so you can just grab whatever 1 DP you want instead.
To not be Purge the Foe?
To not be Purge the Foe. So if you like Eldritch Raiders, it's probably not the end of the world for you. Okay, so that's Aeldari. I think they'll be, once again, very happy with the meta changes overall and some of the small tweaks here. Then we are going to pass it on to Mr. Tucker.
All right.
The guard player for the guard.
So this is going to be a very interesting one because while there's been much discussion over the relative strength of Astra Militarum and where exactly they are,
Just a little bit.
what I would say for Guard is that there was not a lot of build diversity.
No.
And there weren't a ton of internal options for the old Astra Militarum.
No.
Which I would optimistically want to see improved by the changes here. Let's find out if they actually pulled it off. So first up is that every single Bane, Shadow,
Hell,
Dirge, Hell, Doom, Sword, Hammer, Blade.
all of them.
All of them went down. And I think it's just 35 across the board.
Yeah, all of them went down 35.
Just 35. All of the Bane, Shadow, Hell, Sword, Doom hammers.
All of them.
All of them.
Which means 5 Bane Blades is real.
Yeah, so I think that the cheaper ones are like 385 to... There's one of them that's cheaper, like the Doom Sword. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you can fit 5. Some of them are in the 380 to 385 range.
Yep.
If you take like 5 that are like 380, you have like 100-ish points left. You can get an officer in there.
Yep.
If one of these things is like 370, I haven't really checked. You could fit like Yarick in there.
Triple Commissar. There you go.
Triple. You could get a little crazy with it. We do also see some like nice like decreases. The Caden Command Squad down 5.
Yep. That's Katie Command Squad's still good.
Centaur and the Chimera down 10.
That is actually really nice. A lot of the transports went down, which is kind of universal with what we saw like across the game. But man, Guard really liked their transports.
Yeah, Yarick down 10.
Yark down 10. There we go. See, he kind of was a little broken last edition, and then they didn't really know what to do with him after they changed his ability. But 10 points should help a little bit.
More Doom Hellhammers. Kazarkin down 10.
Kazarkin down 10 is a very big deal. That's actually very, very helpful.
Let's see. The Lehman Russ Commander went down 20, but got a now pays 15 for demo cannon. So down 20 to be not a demo cannon, down 5 to be a demo cannon.
Man, they just really don't know what to do with this thing since the Rogaldorn's tank commanders come out. It's just not anywhere near as good, unfortunately.
Okay, Tucker, you probably know this better than I do. It says that the third unit went up because it cost 95 for a Scion squad. Oh, it used to be the second.
Yeah, the second one used to be more expensive. So, but now you can get 2 of them for 85 points, which is nice because Scions also went down a little bit.
Yeah, that is nice.
Best of Scions went down, I believe, 5 points for the big 10-man, which is what, if you're going to take a command squad, you're probably taking a 10-man Scion break anyways. Aquilons also went down 5, so maybe it's Bridgehead o'clock. We're just taking all of them.
Shadow Sword 375.
Shadow Sword at 375. That means you get 3 Shadow Swords for...
No. The second one costs 4 or 5. Wait, you have to take one of all 5.
You have to like assemble the pieces of Bane Zodia.
Yeah, I think you could have 100 points left.
I think so too. I think that, but that's all. You don't even need 100 points because you can make your Bane Blades characters.
Enhancements.
That's what we do.
1 engine seer.
2 engine seers probably. Yeah. I bet you can fit 2 engine seers in there.
Blessed day. Aquilon's down 5. That's good.
That is
a lot of little drops.
Yep.
Toroxes are very cheap, by the way.
Yeah. All of the base infantry is still 75 for 10 mans, which is a little bit rough.
Yeah. So every one of these changes in a vacuum, I hear it and I'm like, oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of a problem with this, and you probably know. This feels like it made the normal stuff that you were already, the only thing that was playable, feels like it got better.
Yeah.
And the things that were not playable feel like they didn't get better.
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
Yeah, Guard's just in like a really awkward design perspective where like the huge units of Guard are just really good, right? Like there's no arguing that like your 20-man Cadians, your 20-man Krieg are great, but like the strength in that comes from the command squads and all the characters you're taking, but for some reason we keep getting points increases on the little squads.
Look, that and then like of the things that I think could have gotten better in Guard, of which there are several, I'm not mad about Scions. Scions are like one of my favorite parts of Guard.
Yeah.
I would not have said that Scions plus Scion command squads were the part that was overpriced.
Nope, probably
that wasn't the part that needed the buff.
Yeah, you already taken like 30 of those guys.
Yeah, well, 45 now. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, you're saving points. Like, why can't why can't a Hellhound come down 10 points?
You do
Why
need
can't like a
Hellhounds.
Lehman Russ come down 10 points?
Yeah.
Like,
The stuff you weren't
Canadian
already
command
seeing.
squads and scions?
Yeah, Canadian Command Squad, Scions, and Bane
What?
Blades. Don't forget the Bane Blades.
And Bane Blades. Torx
Yeah.
is like, I'm like, that was the good part.
Yeah, like the mechanized assault build was already kind of the second best version already because it was, the second best at utilizing Scions and Khazarkins and stuff like that, and that got buffed. But man, combined arm guard players are just kind of suffering.
Whoa. I mean, I think you'll find that combined arms got a buff.
2DP.
That is huge.
That's actually a really big deal because like that's been kind of the generic go-to for guard for a while, right? That has been it's battling with Grizzled, right? They're both kind of very catch-all armies, but Grizzled did kind of have the little Bulgrin bump that combined arms previously didn't. But now you could just have good Bulgrin in combined arms, which is a very big deal.
Yeah,
Like 1 DP to add the Bulgrin to combined arms. Also, Scions just really like combined arms with lethal
You'd
hits.
be bridgehead and combined arms.
Exactly.
If I was going to run, let's just theoretically look at these points changes and said, wow, the thing that went down the most, other than Bane Blades, is my 15 strong Scion units. What detachment would I want to put that in? I don't know.
Maybe the one that makes Scions
Better? Oh, yeah, let's do that one. Yeah, I'm not mad about any of these changes individually, but I am, as a whole, a little confused.
Yeah, I mean the one helpful thing for the combined arms playstyle is that combined arms is now 2 DP, right? And you can take it with. I mean, honestly, any of the 1 DPs are good to take combined arms with.
That is actually true.
Designations plus detection range is like actually real for
So
tanks.
just getting a reactive move into combined arms is gaming.
That is really gaming.
That's actually pretty good.
That is really good. So,
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good.
or just Bulgrin in combined arms, or you're now dollar budget Ben Scions in combined arms.
Look, you know how I feel about Bulgrin.
Yeah.
You know how I feel about Bulgrin.
We love Bulgrin.
I love my bullies. I got 18 of the bad boys. Man. Then they changed Mech Assault to not be Purge the Foe, which I am completely okay with.
It's kind of funny though because Mech Assault you were always taking with Designation Task Force, which is Recon, so you were picking it anyways. But now I guess you could take it with Bridgehead, which was also Priority, which you were also kind of fine with. But
Look,
as long as it's not Purge.
But now you could do Mech Assault plus Bridgehead and be Recon.
That is true. That actually isn't bad.
I wasn't looking to take Purge, though.
Yeah, no, it was not trying to play Purge in any aspect for Astra.
Yeah, all those cheaper transports, though, really do make Mechanized Assault interesting.
Yeah, like the Centaur RSBs are very, very good.
65. We have two different transports that cost 65 now.
Yeah, that
Also,
really helps.
Chimera at 75. Not expensive.
Nope.
Remember when the Chimera was like 70 to 75, and so we spammed the absolute expletive out of them until they went up in points?
Yeah. Well, now they're back down.
We're back.
Yeah, the one big glaring weakness with mechanized was always that you just had to take all of those sorts of like vehicles and stuff to get any value out of it.
Yeah.
Which was hard because it was a tax. But now the tax isn't as bad anymore. So, it's kind of neat.
Look, maybe there's a build and a half for guard now.
Yeah. Woo!
Woo!
Combined arms is back, baby.
Lehman Russ go down in
We've just
points
gone full
when-
circle back to the
I just want,
back to
I just
10th
want
edition
like
index.
10 points on the Lehman Russ battle tank and the Hellhound.
Just give all the
Like,
literally all the Lehman
Instead
Russes
of
could probably go
35
down
on a
like,
Bane Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Look,
15.
The
You'd be fine.
Demolisher went down, which I am grateful for. But like, how did they look at the 7 different Lehman Russ holes and be like, that one?
Only one deserves
Only
it.
that one. Come on.
No one else deserves it. Yeah, no, the Lehman
Yeah.
Russ is still suffering.
You know what? Here's something controversial. How about we make every Lehman Russ 20 points cheaper, and then you pay 5 points per multi-melta?
That seems fine. Probably start taking plasma cannons at that point.
So be it.
So be it.
So be
but
it.
now you can take Lehman Russes.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
Yeah, no.
I would even accept 10 points cheaper, and then you pay for the meltas, because then you could have a cheaper Russ.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Like anything to get something that is not a max size infantry with 2 leaders on the table.
Yeah. As a recon gamer at heart, I do agree that we could probably see a little bit of buffs for
A little
the
bit of
tanks.
diversity,
Just a little
perhaps?
bit. Just a
Look,
little bit.
we-
I won't do it, but for all the other guard players
For all
out
the
there,
other guard
you guys
players,
can have fun with your tanks.
we want the best for you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe in 3 months.
Yeah. That's it for Astra Militarum.
All right. Who are we putting up next? I don't know alphabetically what comes after Astra Militarum. It's probably an Adeptus. No, we've had all the Adeptus.
Ooh, they moved Space Marines back.
Yeah,
so
I know. I was thinking
had
like we
all
haven't
the
done Space
Adeptus.
Marines. We haven't done all the Adeptus.
All
but
right, we've got the Black Templars.
Ooh, okay. This is gonna going to be our first time going over a bunch of the Space Marine changes. Do we want to like skip to Space Marines?
Yeah, let's just do base Space
Yeah,
Marines.
let's skip to base Space Marines.
We know you all want it. You all want it.
Yeah, and then when we go through the Black Templars, we can just talk about like only the Black Templar parts. I think that's fair.
Because there's a lot of Space Marines.
There's a lot of Space Marines, and there's a lot of changes
Oh, yeah.
on the old Space Marine.
Some decreases, some increases.
Yeah, there are some
Green and red.
decreases.
It's Christmas.
There is
It's Christmas, John.
There is some green in there. God. Okay, we're gonna start off good. Aggressors went down a pleasing amount.
Aggressors are cheap.
That's not expensive.
That's cheap.
That's
a lot of shots.
Aggressors are like weirdly roll-less at the moment because their gimmick is like shooting and combat. It is extremely difficult to get a unit to advance, shoot, and charge. It's very easy to get advance, shoot, or charge. It's very hard to do both. But they move 5, so I kind of want them to do both. And then they're like an anti-horde unit that's strength 4. And that's not what I want my anti-horde right now.
What about a Land Raider Redeemer?
Yeah.
Gotcha, John.
Yeah, at
Got
this
'em.
point, why do I have aggressors? Anyways, aggressors down is like an actual genuinely nice thing. We can scroll down a little bit and you can think that everything's going to be okay. Look at all that gray. It's like nothing even happened. Everything's fine. All the drop pods down. The Eradicator unit with heavy bolters went up but lost the stepper. So instead of being 70, 70, 80, it's 80, 80, 80. The Impulsor went down. Wow, everything's down. Everything
You
looks
forgot
so
the
nice
drop
right
pod
now.
went down.
I mentioned the drop pod.
Okay.
The Impulsor went down. I just didn't stay on it for longer than 2 seconds, which is what it deserves. Impulsor down. That's great. The fourth one stays the same. That's perfectly reasonable. And there we go. We're getting to the reds. Inceptors went up. Why did Inceptors go up?
6-inch Deep Strike? It's
But, like-
good. I've written them into my
But,
Death
like,
Watch list.
yeah,
But Death Watch.
why?
Because you bust open their
didn't
backfield.
No. But like Inceptors like just went up. Why are they going up again?
No, they didn't just go up.
This
is the first time they've gone up
Back
this
in my
edition.
day, they were
They
110.
went up like 2 years
Back
ago,
in
John.
my day, they were
when you abused
110.
Vanguard.
Infernus Marines went up on the 10-man, which is fair. That was something that was being spammed a little bit.
What is that, Foe Break?
It's
Foe Seekers?
No, it's Forge Fathers.
Forge Father
Seekers.
Seekers, yeah.
You tripped me up there with Fellhammer Siege Foes. Like it's not Fellhammer. Forge Fathers. So Infernus Marines up. Okay. Mild decreases so far, or mild increases so far. We can scroll right down through it because there's a lot more. The Land Speeder up 10, lost its stepper. That's the common theme. The Librarian went up 10, and I think it gained the stepper. I think it used to be 60, 60, 60, and now it's 70, 70, 80. That's a lot off the strength of Librarius Conclave, which, while we're on Librarians, let's just mention it. 2 of their enhancements got nerfed, but the detachment stayed.
Librarius Conclave.
Yeah. So the 2 enhancements that got nerfed were Fusillade got big changes. It's no longer anti-monster vehicle 5+.
No longer one taps anything in the game.
No longer one taps any monster vehicle in the game, which is a bit of a bummer. And then it can no longer teleport out of combat with the temporal corridor.
Yeah.
So 2 nerfs there, and then a points change, but the detachment rule stays the same. So still some value in it, but certainly a hit you're going to feel.
Yeah, it's not an auto take. I'm 100% grabbing this every
And
single
the
time.
Land Speeder going up to 105 is still you're willing to pay it probably, but it's now a decision, not an auto take in my mind. But I could pay that cost in some detachments. I just won't pay it in every detachment anymore.
Yeah, that toe in and just shoot and get back. That free
It's
value
quite
is nice.
powerful. Fire and Fade's a really good rule. There's a lot more.
Lieutenant with combi weapon.
Up 10. Fair
Boom.
enough. Had that. They keep hitting it. You know what's funny?
Best loan up in the game.
No, he's not.
Maybe not anymore.
At 85 points, he was in 0. I had removed him from all of my lists in the last couple weeks. He just wasn't doing it anymore, which is a weird thing. That he just didn't make the jump as smoothly as
Is that
he
because
wanted.
you switched to from priority to take and hold?
It's because people could touch the objective that he's on and then shoot him without activating his reactive move. Also, because there was less terrain, like on the objectives, he didn't have to like his reactive move wouldn't get him to safety and being useful. He had to completely abandon ship and just not score points in order to be there. And then with hidden, I just don't need to level up anymore. Kind of just how he died. But I think 10 points more is it's a little harsh.
The Razorback goes down to 10.
Yeah.
Which surprising to me because
Unless they changed what it can hold, I don't care.
I didn't realize it was so expensive in
It's
Space
the
Marines.
Razorback is
How is it
very...
85 points? The Grey Knight 175 now.
What?
Yeah, it was 85. And
Yours can
went down
hold
10.
units. Mine can't hold
Yeah.
units.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 85.
Repex!
85 is yeah, Repex up 15, pays 10 points for the Heavy Layer Destroyer. Yikes.
Yeah.
That's
that's
big.
gonna-
That's 25 points per Repex because I got to tell you,
That's going to stay.
that plasma gun, not the same as a Heavy Laser Destroyer.
No, it is
Those are
not.
not the same weapons.
Yeah, that's going to be one that
25
Ultramarines
points is
feel.
a stinger.
Mm-hmm.
Sternguard up 10 on the large squad, which is funny because they have also completely removed my desire to take a 10-man Sternguard at the same time that they've increased the cost. Because without teleporting out of combat and Fusillade, I don't really know why I would take 10 Sternguard.
Pedro Cantor.
Probably not. Hammer Strike went up another 10, another tap to the ignore cover. Suppressors went up 10. That doesn't make sense.
I can't tell you the
Suppressors.
last time I saw this unit. It probably was 8th edition. I'm not going to lie.
Suppressors?
I don't. What's their rule? Is it minus? Do they give?
It's -1 to hit if you shoot it, but it's the worst kind in the game because it's unlike all the other ones. It's while this unit's alive.
While the unit's alive.
They're
Okay.
-1 to hit. So you can just point, I don't know, one heavy bolter at the suppressor squad and be like, die. And then
Then you're not minus.
then
one
you're
to
not
hit.
-1 to hit anymore.
Okay.
So you just shoot
But that's
something else
that.
first.
That must be why, because -1 to hit is a strong roll.
I guess, but
Yeah.
man, I'm
Had to do
really
10
here.
points, not even 5.
I was not seeing a lot of suppressors.
I didn't see a single one.
I was not
Correct.
seeing a lot of suppressors. So, okay, well, goodbye. There's a lot
vets.
more. Vanguard Veterans, they did go up 5 points, but they did get a War Gear option added to them, which is that it's now in line with the datasheet that's previewed along with Armageddon, where you can choose to replace everything in your army or everything in the unit with 5 pistols and 5 mastercrafted power weapons. And you can choose for that to be 5 bolt pistols or 4 bolts and a plasma. That's, I think that's I'm surprised they went up 5. I think that it's an interesting choice of like, would I rather be 3 attacks damage 2 or 4 attacks damage 1 with a 4 pendulum? I thought that was an interesting choice. I didn't really see a need for the unit to go up in points.
Probably like a little safety change, but I could see this coming back off in a little bit.
Yeah, I just didn't. It's fine, but it doesn't seem crazy. We're getting on to the chapter-specific stuff. Most of these didn't get changes. We're gonna
Except for
see,
one chapter.
We're going to see that White Scars. Yeah, okay, there's also Ultramarines. Yeah,
we'll
okay,
get
I feel this feels a little personal.
It's not just you. It's all
This feels...
Ultramarine Marines
little
in
personal.
general have been over 50%. When Marines are over 50% with all those new players in there,
51%.
you know.
Oh, no. Show me the event results. Titus up 10, Cato up 10, Ventress up 10. Guilliman up 15 is insulting. Calgar up 15 makes perfect sense. I'm not going to fight that one. Victrix up 10 on the larger squads. Wardens of Ultramar are up 10. So Tigurius did go down 10, but Tigurius is a -1 to hit character, which means you can bet your bottom dollar
he became
that he now
stealth.
gives stealth,
-1 to hit a melee.
which is very not the same. Ouch.
They finally came for the Ultramarines in a real way.
That
and,
that hurts. Okay.
this helps Salamanders a lot. I think that build is quite strong, and I think there's going to be more internal diversity of Space Marines.
I'm still playing Ultramarines.
I know. You can't let it go. You can't let it go.
I
You
can't.
can't let Daddy
Good
Calgar
rules
go.
are better than bad rules, Richard. I don't know what to tell you. Subin Khan went down 10 points, which feels like an apology for the nerfs to the detachment that we're going to talk about later. But
Khan is awesome. He's a great character for 90.
90 points, we are really getting to the point where it's hard to leave him at home.
He's a
90
great
points
90
is not that
character.
expensive. So we are going to see a lot of detachment changes here too. So First Company Task Force plus both of its clones, which would be Hammer of Averni and Emperor Shield of the Emperor Shield. They all went to Purge the Foe, which is unfortunate because that's a big nerf. Priority Assets was way, way better for that type of army, which was built around big elite bricks that were playing board control and couldn't catch their opponent. Because this is like all of my 10-man Terminators that can't advance and to do a single thing in the world are now Purge the Foe. And so that's a massive nerf to that playstyle, unfortunately. I think Hammer of Averni just got killed, which is tragic. So I think Hammer of Averni emerging as an archetype was actually really interesting, and I think it is gone. I think it's just like removed from the game. So that's a little bit unfortunate. I don't think the Iron Hands... Folks, I appreciate that Iron Hands hurt you back during like the Bush presidency or whatever, but like
it's been every month
forgive
for the
and
last...
forget. Iron Hands are fine now. We don't need to keep nerfing them. Please.
It was the beginning of 10th edition, remember?
It wasn't actually the Bush presidency.
Okay.
I was joking. Sorry, you have to explain things to captcha reader over here. So that's a big nerf, but with it comes great buffs. Because the Purge the Foe detachments, being Firestorm, Assault Force, and Forge Father Seekers, are no longer Purge and have changed to priority assets, which is a big buff to Forge Father Seekers because it did not want to be Purge the Foe. A lot of Forge Father Seekers I saw builds were actually building enough MSU into play as reconnaissance, to go with Librarius, of course, because they just didn't want to be Purge. Having an option besides using your 1DP for it is actually quite helpful.
Yeah,
so
I
do think that there are going to be some changes. Salamander also probably got less changes than other things by points.
Yeah,
it sucks. There isn't a Marine army out there that's not eating some kind of a points nerf.
At least they have alternatives, like you said. The Combi LT can become like the Gravis Captain or whatever.
Yeah, you can make those things. I mean, honestly, you just take my list went up 40 to 50 points. My Combi Lieutenant is now a Scout Squad. And then you trade one other thing for a thing, and you're like, whatever, it works out.
Yeah.
You trade one Hammer Strike for like a Thunder Strike. You're like, all right, we're fine. Yeah. It'll work out. Other than that, I don't think they changed the disposition cost of any detachments for Space Marines.
A
lot of enhancements, man. Fusillade and Temporal. Fusillade went up in points.
Just to make sure. It's dead. It was offensive. It was disgusting. I don't want to see it again
You don't worry not. You will never see Fusillade again.
Good.
Why did it go up in points? They just took away the rule. Oh my god. All
Give
right.
them lethals. It's a good rule.
This is great. We do see some other changes like Ironstorm Spearhead, another Purge the Foe detachment, has now changed to Take and Hold, which I think is really interesting. Ironstorm was one of the few Ironstorm was the only Space Marine detachment that I thought could actually play Purge the Foe. Because now we have 0. But that doesn't mean that it can't do Take and Hold. Take and Hold is good at forcing your opponent to act. It has a similar aspect to Prio in that way. Ironstorm is interesting because, like, compared to the normal Take and Hold builds like a Reclamation Force or Bastion or Ceramite, it's higher damage, worse at holding objectives. So it's like my opponent gets more out of rushing me, and I get more out of my opponent rushing me. It's going to be a really interesting one. I could see that having some sauce.
They also added the new 1DP Vengeful Host here, and it's coming in at Take and Hold.
I am not mad about that. I'm generally a fan. I like Take and Hold access. It's also the 3 1DPs for Space Marine so far were like Disruption, Recon. Disruption. And so I am happy about that. They did change Subversion from Recon to Disruption, and then I think they changed Fulgaris from Disruption to Recon. I'm not opposed to that at all. I just don't see... I don't know. It's fine.
It feels like they have an internal thing of they want to balance how many dispositions are actually. So once they were switching what was Purge, and then they were like, all right, we'll switch these around.
Librarius is still Recon, which means Librarius is generally how you access Recon. It does mean that now, like, if no one was really using Subversion assets to get access to Recon. And if you wanted to Recon access, you just took the Librarius.
One.
And I'm going to be honest, no one has ever added a detachment and said, great, now I have Disruption access. So that doesn't really matter to me.
In teams. It's like the only way.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know about that one. But like technically, some enhancement changes. A couple of the make a character who doesn't have any friends tougher enhancements went up. Like Flesh is weak, which is really good on a Gravis Captain or on the Emperor's Champion.
Yep.
The Blades of Ultramar enhancement. Armor of Antoninus. And then did they do it in Gladius as well? Artificier armor. I don't know. Those all went up from like 10 to 20, which are Artificer armor went up.
They all went to 20.
Which, to be fair, those were pretty silly 10-point enhancements.
Is it 4 Phenopane?
It's in Gladius and Blades, it's a 2-up armor and a 5-up Phenopane. In Iron Hands, it's a 4-up Phenopane.
Yeah,
those were aggressively costed at 10 points. While I never am happy about nerfs, I can understand why those ones went to 20, and I think it's pretty reasonable to do so. Very interesting. A lot more increases than decreases for baseline Space Marines. So you can pivot around this to the best of your ability, but mostly this is just going to be nerfs that you eat.
Yep.
And you're just going to play with less stuff.
And if you were playing Ultramarines, you were not really avoiding it.
Yeah. Look, just cut
As you shouldn't.
Don't be mean. Yeah, you're just like cutting like a hammer strike out of your list. You're losing about
You're losing
that.
a piece.
You're not losing the scout squad though.
No.
You're taking a real hit there. So that's a little unfortunate for us Space Marine players, but I'm very excited to see what the Space Marine win rate looks like.
This is going to inform all of the other changes because a lot of the other Space Marine sub-factions have similar changes to similar units and to their dispositions.
And the ones that don't are noticeable.
Yes.
The ones that do not are noticeable, but most will be there. So let's move on from Space Marines to Black Templars.
Black Templars! All right, so we have a variety of decreases here, and you'll see something similar in Space Wolves. So Chaplain Grimaldus down 10 points, Crusade Agent down 5, Emperor's Champion. He's in pretty much every list.
I'm shocked
that's
that he
just
went down.
You gain 10 points. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very nice for him.
Execrator down 10, 50 points for this Chaplain, man. That advances and charges for your unit is not bad. High Marshal Helbrecht, once again, typically seen. He goes down 10. The Impulsor, they have, I guess it's not the Black Templar Impulse. Is that? Yeah, that's their.
It's the Black Templar Impulsor.
Their
How much
Impulsor is down, it's 75.
So the normal one's 70, this is 75. So it's 5 points to replace the Stubborth Multi-Melta. That's good value.
It's great value, so very good there. The cost increased, what is it called? The requisition threshold is what they call it, for the Marshal switched from the 2+ unit to the 3rd. And then the Repulsor Executioner, which is also one of the best ones because it gets full rerolls to hit pretty easily, went up 10 points, and its Heavy Laser Destroyer went up 10 points. So slightly less than the Ultramarines one.
Yeah.
But still, you're taking a hit
The Ultramarine one was what? It was
15 and 10.
Yeah, no, it went up 25, but I think it was 240 base. So with the Heavy Laser Destroyer, it is 275 now, and this is 265 now.
275 because this is
255. 255.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 265.
Yeah.
Slightly cheaper.
So it didn't take the same hit. Good for them, but it took a hit, which I think is merited. I had seen some builds performing in tournaments for Black Templars because Black Templars were in this weird place of their win rate was terrible, but they were actually putting up better event performances than
especially at
Ultramarines.
Tacoma. There were 4 players undefeated going into
There were 4 that made the top cut.
Yeah.
And 0 Ultramarines. I was like, what's going on there? And I started looking. When I looked into that, and I was like, this makes no sense. So I was over the weekend, I was searching through Best Coast pairings and I just searched June 1st through July, whatever date it was. Black Templars that finished in the top 8. I saw a number of Black Templar Ironstorms with triple rep X. I was like, oh, that's what they're doing.
That's strong.
It's taking hold now.
It is.
They were purging foes before, I guarantee it.
And they're going to take some increases here.
Yeah.
But the combat style goes down a bit. And then you get the normal Space Marine changes. And then if we scroll all the way down to their detachments, let's see if anything changed in here.
I don't know if any of the unique Templar ones did. The Living
Godhammer
Miracle
Assault Force has changed disposition to purge the foe.
Yeah, and Living Miracle changed to Disruption.
Yeah.
That means that it probably was Purge the Foe.
Yeah. Is my guess.
Ironstorm changed as we knew.
And that looks to be the the rest is just normal Space Marine ones we went through.
Yeah, no kidding.
So yeah, that's the main one. It looks like their 1 DP that was Purge switched to Godhammer Assault, and then you get a 1 DP Disruption, which
it's whatever
less than ideal.
Oh, maybe for teams.
Maybe for teams. So all right, that's Black Templars there. I think mostly the Ironstorm list is taking a hit here, whereas the more MSU combat style is getting some buffs.
If you play a classic Templar list, you're probably getting very slightly better.
Blood Angels here. So Blood Angels, as is the case, don't receive any changes to their core unique Blood Angel units. So it's just going to be all baseline Space Marine changes. And then if we head down to their detachments, I don't know if
I think they had a reasonable amount of purge access from like the various Death Company detachments anyways, which I mean, I think is perfectly reasonable. Did anything change? First Company Task Force change. That's old news. Firestorm, Fulgaris,
I don't believe so.
Ironstorm. Did Blood Angels literally just not
I
change?
think Blood Angels just are staying in the spot that they were, which is above average army.
I'll point out now that I believe, and Tucker, if you wouldn't mind scrolling up for me, to the Repulsor Executioner. I believe that the off chapters that don't have a better Rep-X still pay the 230 base cost. They just have to pay 10 points for Heavy Laser Destroyer. So Blood Angel Rep-X went up 10, whereas a Ultramarine one went up 25.
Yeah, theirs is 230 base and 10 points for the heavy laser if you want it.
Yeah, so 240. It's not the same as an Ultramarine one, but 240 is not bad.
Yeah, 240 is not bad at all.
But they weren't taking it before, so presumably they won't be taking it.
Just not enough detachments outside the generic Marine ones. That actually
and there's no reason to play Blood Angel Ironstorm. There's literally no reason to ever play Blood Angel Ironstorm. Wouldn't you agree?
That's targeted. Not at me.
It always is.
If you know, you know.
All right. So
Chaos
Blood
Demons.
Angel's very, very light on that one.
Yeah. And I think they were in a good enough spot where they're happy with these changes. Because it's the rest of the meta that gets worse. They definitely love Ultramarines getting worse.
I'm sure it makes them feel better.
Chaos Demons here. So the Beast of Nurgle, which was just really cheap for what you got, goes up 5 points base here. And then Blood Crushers, we were seeing a lot of 18 Blood Crusher lists. They have received increases to both the first two, the 6 model unit, that goes up 10 points. But the third unit that you take is going to go up 10 or 20 for the 6 model unit. So decent increase there if you're spamming Blood Crushers.
10 for a large and then 10 on the stepper.
Yep. The Fluxmaster goes down 10 points. Kairos Fate Weaver is going to go up 10 points. And the Lord of Change is going to go up 20 base, 25 for the third model with the requisition threshold. Yeah. Shalaxi Hellbane. Further going down.
Girl!
Every update has gone down.
She's 315 still.
315, 20.
She's a keeper that's not minus
was
1 to
she
hit.
450 or something ridiculous?
She was, now, admittedly, when she was 450, she did have a data sheet that made you go,
Okay.
but it didn't make you go 450.
She's been coming down pretty much every update.
Yeah, it's because when they nerfed her data sheet, they said you lost -1 to wound, -1 incoming attacks, and full rerolls to hit and wound. In exchange, you are the same points cost. So they've been working that back for 3 updates now instead of just putting her at a reasonable cost. 315 it's interesting. She does hit a lot harder than a keeper.
True.
She is more
She picks
fragile.
a target to get rerolls against, right?
She picks a target, and if the target dies, she picks a new one, that kind of thing, which is better.
Here I go killing again.
Here she goes killing again. So if someone else can get that kill, you get interesting. But with Shalaxi, the biggest problem with her is that she is less durable than a keeper. And she do be costing 60 points more.
And that does bring up a subtle change here, which is that the Keeper's Secrets doesn't go up. And for the most part, most of the units that have a -1 to hit, which works in shooting, have changed to stealth and -1 to hit in melee.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, the Keeper has maintained that and maintained its current cost. So it didn't get an increase by keeping that, which means Legion of Excess is still very much in play.
Yeah, that is quite interesting. Weird to see the exceptions to the rules that I made.
Yes.
I think other than that, I think that there were detachment changes. Their 1 DP that was Purge, I believe, is not.
Yep.
So Lords of the Warp is taken hold now. Fair enough.
Can't get Scintillating Legion grabbing a Purge 1 DP. In addition, Scintillating Legion had its enhancements. One of the enhancements goes down, but Inescapable Eye goes up, as well as Neverblade. But the one that went down, you're like, how did the Infernal Puppeteer go down? Well, it changed to +9 detection range instead of a broken roll.
They should have done this for Fusillade. Sorry. So it's +9 detection range, but it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Because the way that I believe that it has changed is that when the Infernal Puppeteer shoots, for this activation, it has +9 detection range against enemies that are visible to a friendly monster. And it's like, oh, wow, that's worse. That's worse than +9 detection range.
Yeah.
Because now, if I'm looking at something that's 13 inches away and has gone to ground, it's not visible. So I can't get the detection range against it, which means I need a second Lord of Change to walk up next to it.
That's why you bring Shalaxi, John. Okay.
No, it's a friendly Zinch monster.
Oh, it's a Zinch monster only.
Yeah, no,
I thought it could be any monster.
Look, for the detachment that got to ignore all of the rules and ignore everything and just do what it wanted, I like adding some hoops. They added...
It's a different hoop entirely.
This isn't even a hoop. It's like, yeah, we added 1 hoop and it's actually a pipe.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? How am I supposed to fit through that?
Yeah.
Infernal Puppeteer no longer exists, is my opinion.
Some significant points increases and that huge enhancement change for Scintillating Legion. I think other demon builds are going to certainly rise after this.
Worth pointing out, however, that it still really shoots hard. Lords of Change still shoot really hard.
They do shoot very hard.
They do shoot really hard.
Yep, that's not going to stop.
That's an interesting one.
All right, Chaos Knights here, John. Chaos Knights. All right.
Chaos Knights did receive several buffs.
Yes.
Not 0.
2 points drops here. The Huntsman and the Stalker go down 5 points. These are ones that you were typically not seeing as much as the other ones. But there are some rules changes to, I believe, the
rules changes.
the Desecrator weapon. The Abominant weapon gained ignores cover. The Desecrator weapon gained, what was it?
I can do this off memory. You're
flat
good.
6.
Yeah. All right. So the Ruinator has changed its flamer weapon from 2d6 to 6 plus d6. That is a nice buff. It has also changed its missile shot count from 2d6 to 6 plus d6. That is a nice buff. I'm not going to front, folks. I kind of want to paint one. I am ready to be fooled again. The Desecrator has received a change. It lost its special rule, which was garbage, and so that's okay. In exchange, its main weapon now has devastating wounds, parentheses, monsters, vehicles, which is what its rule used to be. And it now ignores hit, wound, weapon skill mods when it targets a monster vehicle. So it effectively ignores cover. Now, the last time I rolled the Desecrator on our channel, I rolled 3 2s to hit. That's the last time I fired this thing. And you know what? If I had known it ignored cover, that I would have jumped around. Just jumped like a circus clown. Instead, I will put a Desecrator back on the table like a circus clown so that I can roll 3 1s this time. God. The Desecrator has hurt me many times. The Abominant ignoring cover, that's dope.
I know you've been a fan of multiple Abominants in the past.
Those 3 buffs all make the bad Titanic Knights like, that's like interesting. I'm honestly, though, I am glad that they took this approach to just making every big knight cost 10 less points again. There is one other change. They have added something to Storm of Darkness, which is a 1 CP stratagem in Traitorous Lands, which is also uniquely or only purge the foe axis now. And that is that when you are shot at, you now can have stealth and -1 to hit against melee attacks.
Aha.
Only when you're only in the shooting phase.
In the shooting phase.
Yeah. I think
that's
we can.
When I want my -1 to hit.
That's when I want in melee. That's when I want my -1 hit against melee attacks. I think we can all just put on our adult pants and just let your Chaos Knight friend use that stratagem in the fight phase. just be chill. They are really struggling out there. Look, they needed this. Okay, just let them have it. Okay, so nice. They changed
There's some disposition changes.
Some disposition stuff. Yeah, so Lords of Dread went to Takenhold, which is interesting and I don't mind, but I actually kind of liked Prio for it. Mm-hmm. And then they moved what is it? They moved Infernal Lance to Prio.
Yes, Infernal Lance is Prio and Bastions of Tyranny is Prio.
Right. Bastions of Tyranny was Disruption before, I think. So, yay. That's interesting. I don't mind any of this, but I actually would have preferred Lords of Dread stayed to Prio. It feels weird because it feels like Lords of Dread went to Takenhold just to give room for Infernal Lance to be Prio. But I kind of would have rather just held on to my Prio because Prio is what I wanted. So it's always this shuffle is a little weird where it's ooh, Infernal Lance buff. Ooh, Lords of Dread nerf.
It does set the precedent that they're willing to change dispositions
at
often.
A moment's notice. Yeah. Good heavens. It's been a month.
It hasn't been long. I did not expect a billion disposition changes this.
Pour one out for every WTC player who has been practicing a disposition since June 1st and had the dispositions they have access to changed. Lister due Monday. Just gonna
feel it out, baby.
Yikes! I support your friends, folks. Check in on your national team. Overall, I am happy about Chaos Knights. I don't think it's enough.
I do like rules changes. I think that's very nice that.
I much prefer this to them making the Ruinator 10 points cheaper and still just terrible. So I'm optimistic that this will be better for Chaos Knights. I'm hesitant to think that it will be enough, but I would rather they change like this, and then in 3 months, if the win rate is still God, how do I say this? Astra Militarum-esque, then we
It's
can...
above Astra Militarum.
Depends on the week.
That's true.
Depends on the week.
I've seen them rotating down.
They've been
with
there's
Guard.
Yeah, there's a couple of rocks tumbling at the bottom of the graph on this one.
When you look at the graph, this is like the stats graph that's going around. There's red for if you're below 45%. I think
Usually.
And then
There's like 3 armies.
there's
just
3
like,
armies that have red for their this week and for the last 4 weeks. There's only a couple. Guard, Admech, and Chaos Knights are 3 of them.
Yeah. So happy that they're making these changes, though, and I really hope that this means that we can get some of the big knights on the table again. I will admit it. I do want a Ruinator with fixed shot count is much more appealing, much more appealing, and I love Abominate so much. I want to try it.
What about Chaos Space Marines, John?
They received some changes.
They did receive some changes. Now, they had quite a few Defiler-centric builds that were performing well, usually built around Mr. Abaddon and his friends.
Nick had a very good run at the Tacoma Open.
Nick had an excellent run, just narrowly losing in the Shadow Round from an excellent performance from, I think it was Forest and Space Wolves.
Yeah, that's correct.
It was a really tight game and a ton of fun. I wish that one was streamed. But Chaos Space Marines here. Abaddon the Despoiler, up 10 points. So he continues to go up just a bit. Obviously, a full rerolls aura is just insane. Really good. Cursed Cultist, the 3rd unit, instead of, I think
it was the 2nd.
I believe it was previously the 2nd plus unit got the increased cost. Now it's just the first 2.
Yeah. It's a very harsh stepper, though, 20 points.
It is harsh stepper, but frankly,
by the 3rd Accursed Cultist, I'm
young
okay
Nassim
with it.
Fouchain came here with his Accursed Cultist ideas and did show off that they are quite powerful. There's
true.
a Worm game showing them off. Then we have Chaos Lord with Jump Pack comes down. Still have never seen this guy, but maybe one day. The Predators, both versions go up 10 points. The Chaos Rhino comes down. That's a pretty nice change for some of the styles we haven't been seeing.
Yeah.
Also Renegade Raiders, which has a very good strat for some Rhinos. Chaos Terminator Squad goes down, continues to go down. That's a unit that I was seeing, around in variety of
5
ways.
Terminators with like Kravik Morn as like a little Ingress package.
75?
That's not really not bad.
That's not bad.
Built-in reroll hits is cool.
Yep. Chosen going up 10 points for 5, 20 points for 10. 3rd unit has the, I believe...
Chosen used to get cheaper.
Yeah.
I was about to say like, wow. But no, it's just like on rate. They used to get cheaper on a 10, man. All right,
That is an increase. Now, were 10 Chosen plus Huron's Masters plus Huron a unit that was in every list? Yes, it was. It was really good. And now it is more expensive. And I think that's justified. That unit is kind of crazy. Dark Commune. They switched the Stepper from the 2 plus to the 3rd one as well.
I think reasonable.
And the Defiler. This is the one you've all been waiting for.
This is our first Defiler to cover. 10 points on the 2nd one. So that Stepper was 20 or was 30 and is now 40. Yep. So the 2nd one is an investment.
Yes.
And then 5 points up on the 2 good guns.
Typically the autocannons we're seeing.
Yeah.
So you're going to get 20 additional points on the 2nd and 3rd unit. But the Chaos Space Marine Defiler received a rules change. It used to have that once per game. It does its pact and it gets the reroll wounds. And now it's just reroll ones to wound, which is it's not full rerolls to hit and full rerolls to wound anymore. Reroll ones to wound is still good on it, but is not the absolute game-breaking, ridiculous nonsense that it was. This is why the first one's not going up again.
Yeah, I think...
Besides the weapons.
I think they finally did it.
I think so.
I think they finally... I think we got it. I've been complaining about the Defiler for a while, and I've been running to my EC list the entire time. I know what I am. But I think they might actually have a relatively appropriate cost for that data sheet.
I mean, it's still going to be good near Abaddon, still good in Packbound. It is still a good unit. It isn't going to do the insane guaranteed damage of previously, but it's still going to hurt.
We'll look at the rest of these nerfs too, because there's more to come.
Yep. Mr. Huron goes up 10. The Masters go up 10.
Yeah.
Not surprising.
Huron's mom. That's harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huron and his mom.
Mutilators, on the other hand, going down 15 points for 3.
Another unit I actually quite like.
Yeah, the Kravak Morn can lead them as well.
He can.
Nemesis Claw goes down 10.
I haven't seen them in a bit.
I have not seen them in a bit, but they do have where you can't use stratagems if you're in engage range of them.
Yeah, I think it's except for monsters and vehicles, but it is a
weird
good
rule where in certain matchups it can kind of bust open a game. The Reeve Captain is 60 points. That is very cheap.
He's really bad.
Doesn't surprise
He's in a
me.
rough spot. So
Bashtor takes a 15 points increase. I believe he keeps his -1 to hit, so he doesn't go to stealth.
That's why,
-1 to melee. And then the Venom Crawler. I hadn't been seeing too many of those, but they
I've
were
seen a
solid
couple
one.
starting to sneak into lists because
up
it
10
was cheap, and they appear to have caught that very quickly.
Yeah.
Did CSM get any disposition changes? I think they had one
did.
purge.
Murder Talon Raiders, the 1 DP purge has switched to reconnaissance.
Okay.
And then the Soulforge Warpack, I don't remember what it was, but it became Taken Hold here.
All right, personal opinion.
So purge can only be accessed by creations of the bile.
Okay, personal opinion. I think that if your detachment name has any of the keywords murder, purge, or fight in it, you should be allowed to keep purge the foe no matter what.
They didn't want it to be 1 DP souped in.
Yeah, no kidding. They really didn't.
They really stopped that.
All these changes, and plus 15 points on Tempting Addendum for Soulforge Warpack. That's actually big for them.
Now, to be fair, I have seen many CSM players shift from Purge to Taken Hold, which is an easy thing to access for them as well, if they were going for the Fellhammer route.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I'm going to say something that Richard is not expecting. I think they hit CSM too hard.
Maybe. We'll find out.
I think that
they hit every aspect of it.
They were comprehensive. I feel like they like there was a lot of CSM units before the Defiler came out where we were like, wow, CSM is like a sneaky good army. It's not like crazy, but it's like pretty
It's a good army, yeah.
They've gone up twice because the Defiler made the army crazy. But now the Defiler has been brought in line, and all those things are now like 20 points more than they were 2 months ago.
I honestly think Chosen and Huron and his masters deserved it.
They did. I think they were propping up the book a little bit.
Yeah, I think
I'm a big fan of a load bearer and epic hero. But
if that unit and the Defilers went up and got that rules change, you know, maybe that was it. But they did hit some other things, and maybe those will come down if CSM end up being hit too hard here.
Yeah, we'll see kind of how it lands. We'll see how CSM lands.
And you know, this is so Ultramarines top army, Chaos Space Marines top army. We are seeing that the really strong armies are getting hit in significant ways here.
Yeah.
And this is why when I look at AdMech, I'm like, yeah, I didn't get like as much love, but those enemies, those foul enemies, they got hate. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, the good armies
purge the chaos and
the good armies are taking some L's.
Yes. All right.
Okie dokie.
Chaos Titan Legions. What?
I think we can skip that one.
Dark Angels. All right. So Dark Angels, their faction pack has several relatively important changes.
Yeah, it does.
But in terms of the things that are in this, do you want to take it away, Mr. John?
I would love to. The Deathwing Knight had its step removed from the 2nd unit to the 3rd unit. That is a rather nice buff. Yeah. Inner Circle Companions got the change that we have talked about, where they lost -1 to hit in shooting in exchange for stealth, which is a pretty big downgrade. But then they went down 10 points on the larger squad, so they no longer pay a premium to be a larger squad. They used to pay more for a 6 than they did for the 3s.
So that's what you would take.
Yeah, because you wouldn't really take a 3, and you still probably won't. And that's perfectly reasonable. The Landspeeder Vengeance went up 10 on all 3, which is fair. Lionel Johnson went down 20, which is helpful because he's not very good.
He did receive a rules change as well.
He did. He got a rules nerf, which is a bit of a bummer. But down 20 points, I'm very willing to excuse that. Do we want to? There's a lot of Dark Angel changes.
Mobile.
He did gain mobile. That's true. That is a buff. I forgot about that because, like, in my mind, that was already there because of the Tacoma FAQ.
And I assume Gilman gained it.
Yeah,
Call gained it as well. I didn't mention that for AdMech.
Do we want to go into the Dark Angel faction pack now, or do you want to save it till after the MFM?
We'll save it for after. We'll do a couple of. We're going to hit a couple of the faction.
In that
packs.
case, Lion got rules changes but went down. Nephilim went down, just down. The Ravenwing Command Squad and the Dark Shroud and Samael went down. So a lot of these. Ravenwing had a lot of units that were hit by addition changes, where like giving stealth and cover is no longer a rule, or I have the mounted keyword and therefore I'm not allowed to do anything. And so compared to normal Space Marines, Dark Angels had a lot of their maligned units go down, which is interesting because you can now build a Dark Angel list that is actually relatively comparable in cost to what it was a week ago.
Yep.
Which is not what you can say for most chapters. So that's actually kind of
honestly one of the big beneficiary Space Marine chapters, I would say.
Yes, I think...
as we'll see in the FAQ update, there's a lot of changes.
Between that, they become an actual probable beneficiary instead of just taking, a smaller loss versus a bigger loss. That's a big deal. Within their points changes for their generic units, it's the same as Blood Angels, to my knowledge, where like
Should be.
all of their units went up the same amount, except for the Repulsor Executioner, which only goes up 10 instead of going up 25, because they're not one of those +1 wound chapters. Which is fair enough.
Did any of their unique chapters change?
Yes, their Chaplain Detachment, which no one has ever put a
Interrogation Conclave.
Yeah, I joke, actually, people have played Interrogation Conclave. It is now taken hold. It was Purge of the Foe. Nice to have options. I kind of wish it was priority assets, like you're looking for the guy that you're going to interrogate. Also, because there isn't a 1DP priority assets in Space Marines, and so like I yearn for diversity, because now for Dark Angels, the options are take, recon, disruption. And I understand that apparently no one gets 1DP Purge the Foe, but I actually would have liked to prio just to like have the option. I feel like interrogation was a good option for that. But it's okay. Taking hold's not a bad place to be, so I'm not mad about that at all. Everything else I think is it is the disposition that was changed in Space Marines. I don't think anything else for Dark Angels cook.
That's correct. So yeah, Dark Angels eating pretty good. We'll come back to them with the FAQ.
I'm not mad about that one.
Moving on to Death Watch, they don't have any points changes besides the base Space Marine ones, but they do receive a very critical disposition change to Black Spear Task Force, which was previously priority assets and has become Purge the Foe.
That is a detachment that actually wanted to be Purge the Foe. It has Purge, like it has to be Purge.
Yes, that's what they do. They're Xeno hunters.
They're Xeno Purge. It's like their whole thing. So I'm quite happy for that. I didn't play a lot of Black Spear Prio because I found that the play pattern was clunky. I am now much more interested in playing it as Purge, because it's one of those few armies that I could actually see it wanting to be Purge. Space Marines generally I don't think want to play Purge. Normal Space Marines don't. Black Spear is interesting. I think Black Spear Purge foes is something I'm going to test. And because none of their units went up, and they frankly weren't particularly relying on any of these Space Marine units, compared to the rest of Space Marines, I would say that they've gotten a pretty significant glow up. So that's another option that I now think is worth testing.
They also shoot ridiculously hard. If you enjoyed shooting that Sternguard unit in Librarius Conclave of the old Fusillade, try out Death Watch.
I do enjoy shooting
those units also
hard.
crack.
That's crazy. Still 3DP, still no combos with it, but interesting at least.
Moving on to Drukhari here. So a couple little changes here. Mostly those transports. Once again, the Raider goes down 10 points. That's a pretty big buff to the larger units. Like, for example, in the Cabalite Cartel, you would want like 10 Incubi with an Archon, but you can't fit into Venom. The Raider you would take, that's 10 points off. That's quite nice. The Ravager does go up 10 points, and its requisition threshold is removed, so you don't have to pay for the third one. It was a little bit cheap for the Disintegrator variant.
Yeah, I saw a lot of those.
Not terrible. Change there. And then the Venom goes down 5. You're always running some amount of Venoms, so typically Drukhari lists are going to go down a little bit in this. Otherwise, everything else they seem to be pretty happy with where Drukhari's at. But in terms of their detachments, there are some changes here in the dispositions. So the Covenite Coterie has changed to Take and Hold. I think previously it was like Purge the Foe. And then Exhibition of Slaughter, the Witch Cult one, has changed as well. It's become Reconnaissance. Very easy recon access for Drukhari now, which is great. And then in terms of the Cabalite Agonists, that has changed to Disruption. This is the 1DP Cabal detachment. So switching around 2 of the 1DPs here for Drukhari, but honestly, 1DP Reconnaissance, very nice. If you play Sky Splinter, doesn't matter as much for you, but matters for
gives everyone else options.
Really, it's the fact of Cabalite Cartel wants to be, I like recon in that.
Sure, yeah.
And then looking at some of the other ones, like Spectacle Spite, doesn't have to play Purge, and you just grab this in your recon. All right, so that's Drukhari. I think overall just sitting pretty happy in the meta, watching everything else get burned.
they're not mad
watching the world burn. Then Emperor's Children here, Mr. John.
Ooh, all right, this one I'm actually quite excited for. GW looked out through their spyglass, and they saw Emperor's Children that were based entirely around one unit for their success, and were spamming that unit. And they looked in the mirror and they said, "What year is it?" But now they've responded differently. Instead of just nerfing us again, with our modest win rate and 0 event wins, they have.
Hey, is it? They've had a top 5 win rate.
They came down pretty quickly. They're at like 51 point something, which is actually still top 5, I think. But
yeah,
it's modest. 51 win rate is fine.
Let's
51.
look at this man over here.
51's fine. They nerfed the Defiler, fair and valid, honestly. And then they brought a lot of other things down. So the Defiler, ours went up 10 points more than the CSM one did. So the base cost went up 10, and then the stepper on the second one went up 10, which means that the second one is now 20 points more than before, whereas the first one is 10 points more than before. But then in addition, we now pay an extra 5 points per auto cannon, which we are still absolutely taking. And so we are now paying an additional 10. So if you took 2 Defilers, I think you're up 50, which is fair and justified. That crab's crazy. I still might take 2. But they did bring home a lot of other things to be slightly cheaper. Fulgrim gains mobile and went down 10 points, which is adorable. And as a -1 to hit unit, I'm just glad he didn't go up 10 at this point. And a couple other things dropped. The Sorcerer dropped. The Rhino dropped. Rhino dropping is big. Sorcerer dropping is not. Although the
55 points, what is that?
The Sorcerer?
Yeah.
Admittedly, we're getting to the point where he's a leader, I think.
Just a body.
So he's just a guy. Yeah, he's really not a leader. He's not doing much leading, but fair enough. I think like what he does is he gives his unit the benefit of cover. And so like that's why you don't take him, because he doesn't do anything. Also, like what is he going to lead and give cover to, right?
He's
Like
just an action unit.
he's just an action doer. Lucius down 10. Mauler Fiend down 10. I love to see a Mauler Fiend down 10. I love a Mauler friend. I'm really happy about that. Seeing Lucius come down, I think, is very justified. With the fight's first change, you really needed this. Overall, I'm happy. Like an EC list is still going up because of the Defilers. If you were going no Defilers, honestly, salute to you. You can get cheaper. But everything else still doesn't outweigh the Defilers, which is, I think, how it should be.
The Rhino going down is quite nice.
It is quite nice. I was on 1 Rhino. I can see myself going back to 2.
Yeah. But there are some disposition changes here for the EC.
So some of these make some sense, or at least are consistent, where I think, what is it? It's Spectacle of Slaughter is our 1 DP for Flawless Blades.
Yep.
And it has changed to Disruption from Purge the Foe. Then, this one I don't understand. Carnival of Chaos went to Disruption from Priority.
Carnival Excess?
Carnival of Excess, yeah, sorry. Carnival of Excess is Disruption now?
Yeah, it's Disruption.
I don't... Like, they didn't bring in a new priority. I know they did. They made Coterie priority.
Lost Purge.
Lost Purge. So they made the Purge attachment into priority, which means they made room for it by making Carnival Disruption. I still don't understand why Peerless Blades made its priority, just for clear.
Recon.
Yeah, Frenzied Host became Recon. I'm fine with that. That was Disruption. I'd rather it be Recon. So now you can build a Carnival list as Disruption, Frenzied Host for, like, Disruption or Recon. That's fine. The Coterie one is actually a really nice buff. That is, we've seen this with a lot of the Purge the Foe detachments that went from Purge the Foe to priority. That is a huge quality of life improvement, because Coterie does not like being forced to overextend to get kills. It likes providing an incentive to the opponent for stepping up to me so that I can go kill you and then pledge the Slanesh. So I think it's a really big upgrade. At the moment, we saw that EC made a hard 180-degree pivot from we had 1 valid detachment in 10th edition to we have 1 valid detachment in 11th edition. I think that Coterie is going to make a little bit of a comeback. Yeah. Carnival was relying on the Defiler. That point change is valid, but real. You are going to feel that. I think you could easily build a Coterie list that is less reliant on Defilers. I don't think you need to have like 3 anymore with that points cost. I probably would rather not.
Yeah.
But now it's priority, and that's like a really big deal. So I could totally envision some EC lists that work now as
honestly,
different detachments.
55 points Sorcerer goes out, touches the button on the middle.
Someone's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it.
I think I would try to find the points for a spawn, but sometimes...
True.
And they did not fix Slanesh's Chosen at all. I'm going to say that. Now that we've won over on agents, I'm going to start mentioning Slanesh's Chosen in every live stream and see what GW does about it.
What is the issue?
It's terrible.
Okay. Well, there's some out there like that.
It was. I think it was in the top 3 of our 10 worst attachments in the game when we did that one. I think it was like the worst non.
Oh, is this the one that buffs it's like character based?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Where you have to kill something with a character to get any rules at all.
Yeah.
And you don't get rules unless you do that. And it's like, oh, what are we doing? So I think next up is actually going to be Deathguard.
Did we past
We did.
We snuck past Deathguard.
We snuck past Deathguard.
sorry.
Don't worry, folks. They
Sorry,
caught up.
stinky
They
boys.
weren't that slow.
All right, so the Deathguard here, another Defiler we're going to be talking about.
Yep.
Chaos Rhino goes down. Their Rhino is actually quite good. You get the real wounds out of it, and we'll see Plague Marines, the 10 model unit, goes down as well. Death Shroud Terminators down 15 for 6. The Defiler is up 10 base, along with that weapon increase, and then 20, so same as the EC Defiler. So if you're running one of them, it's going up 20. If you're running multiple, you're probably going up 50 combined.
And the autocannon changes the same as before. I think that's very valid. The EC and Deathguard Defilers are both quite solid.
Yeah, Mortarion going down 10 points. Not too bad either. So, and then those Plague Marines. So Plague Marine plus Rhino package goes down 20. That's a decent unit. I know Mike was testing running 2 different units of those with the 2 characters attached. And then in terms of disposition changes, we have Contagion Engines becomes Reconnaissance. I assume it was Purge the Foe and changed to this.
Yeah, I think it was.
Otherwise, no other changes there. Now, I don't think Deathguard really is a recon army too much. So out of this, you still have Virulent Vectorium. That's perfectly fine. Champions is still taking hold. That's a great detachment for them as well, or disposition for them as well. And then you can get priority relatively easy if you want it. Yeah. So I think, Deathguard gets like a Defiler nerf. But frankly, from the Deathguard list that I've seen, it was typically 1 Defiler, and going up 20 points, which might be immediately canceled out by your Rhino plus Plague Marines. Yeah. Seems like they're roughly going to be in a similar spot.
Yeah, and again, if you were a little unhappy with your army and it didn't go down, but a lot of other people went up, that's
you saw how much positive. CSM and Ultramarines went up.
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, and like at that point, as an EC player, I'm jumping for joy that my list only went up 50.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and then we are going to head over to the GSC, and we'll bring Mr. Tucker back over here for them.
Yeah, now I'll mention on Genestealer Cult that we did also get some rules changes, and the rules changes looked like they were mostly unlocking the ability of Genestealer Cult to function as an army with their detachment rule, or their army rule, like, getting to work, kind of the way that we had hoped that it would.
Yes, it was kind of like not a huge deal because even last edition you just bring back the little 5-man squads, but every once in a while you'd bring back like a 10-man metamorph because there were only 4 points, and it kind of sucked that you couldn't do that with leaders.
It's nice to have an option.
Yeah, so now you can actually bring back your leaders, which is actually kind of a big deal because some of the points changes we saw kind of encourage the bigger units. The big notable ones are 10-man Aberrants went down 20 points. So 20 points for 10, 10 points for 5, 2 points per man for Aberrants.
That's not bad.
Very not bad. The 10-man Acolytes went up, so we're moving back to Muscle Beach. We also got points decreases on 5-man squads of Jackals, which is very, very nice because it's pretty much the best skirmish unit in Genestealer Cults. Fastest and does all the mortals. We saw like the kind of the generic truck change with transports just going down across the board, so that went down to 75. Once again, the 10-man hybrid metamorphs went down. So, and in addition to now being able to bring back those big 10-man units that you were leading with characters, they're now also cheaper, which is quite nice. Yeah. And then Neophyte 20-mans went down. Not sure why that happened, but I will take 20-man Neophytes being cheaper. So
yeah, that's a good quality of life upgrade for you.
Big fan of that. They're down to 135, so 10 points for 20.
No kidding.
It's nothing. It's not nothing, but they don't have a stepper. So like when you're taking the big like Swarm host list, you're going down 60. Pure Train's down 5 for the 5-man.
Nice.
It's nice. And then the Reductus got a stepper cost for the third one. Sure. You kind of weren't taking 3 of her anyways anymore. Yeah. Just not as good. She can't cover whole objectives with her mine anymore because of how big objectives are. But that's all right. The biggest change by far, though.
Yes, tell me about this.
Is that Xeno Cult masses went to Reconnaissance. Which is very nice because GSC is definitely an army that wants to play Reconnaissance.
Seems like the type, yeah.
Got 1 million units and you can bring a bunch of them back. And the only way to do it previously was an Outlander Claw, which was like not terrible. Outlander Claw is pretty good at playing Reconnaissance. You get a bunch of fast moving bikes, but you didn't have a way like a lot of other armies did to soup Reconnaissance into one of your 2DPs. Yeah. Which is really what you were looking for, right? Like I want to be able to take, the big one was like Final Day was stuck as Purge the Foe. Sure. And you couldn't take it with the Xeno Cult really before because then you're choosing between Disruption and Purge the Foe. Yeah. Not ideal. But now you can take it as Reconnaissance, which is really nice. And Xeno Creed can be played as Reconnaissance, as well as Biosanctic or what's the other one that I'm missing? Brood Brothers can be played as Reconnaissance. Oh. How could I forget Brood Brothers? Brood Brothers. So overall, just really good changes for GSC. We didn't really get nerfed at all. I think we were kind of down there in the win rates. We weren't like guard level catastrophic.
Not terrible.
Yeah. So, but at the very least, you could play GSC in a very GSC way now with pretty much any of the detachments, which is very nice. So you just get to do the thing.
That's quite strong. And it looks like a disruption changed too for Heroes of the Uprising. Was that Purge before?
Yes, Heroes of the Uprising was Purge, which that is very nice because it also means that Final Day was really sad because you kind of wanted to play it with the Heroes detachment every once in a while, but they were both Purge and like
I see.
You don't want to play Purge with GSC.
Why not?
You just don't want to do that.
Yeah,
so
okay, that makes
that's nice. I mean, at least you're not playing Purge, you're playing Disruption now. Not super great, but Disruption's still a lot more playable for that army than Purge is. So that is helpful.
Okay. So lots of buffs moving away from Purge here.
Yes, exactly. So, alrighty.
All right, very cool. All right, what's after Genestealer Cult?
All right, back in the chair. Let's go.
Is it Imperial Knights?
GSC is going to go
it's
into
Grey
Grey
Knights.
Knights.
I always
Don't forget my
Grey
Grey
Knights.
Knights.
I always forget Grey Knights. All right, so what are you excited about here?
Well, first of all, Grey Knights can teleport turn 1. They put it into their army rule in the FAQ update. So
that's really nice.
If you end up going second and your opponent rushes at you, you can reposition things as needed.
Good.
Which helps. So, what else do we have going on here? Well, in terms of the points decreases, we have the Brotherhood Terminator Squad, which goes down 15 points on the 10 model unit, which is quite interesting. It also removes the requisition threshold, so you don't pay additional if you want to spam Brotherhood Terminators, which wasn't a playstyle we were seeing, but in Hollow Conclave, maybe you would do that because the 10-man did get cheaper.
Yeah. And you paid for the sight cannons before?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not neat.
Grandmaster Voltus, he used to be -1 to hit, period, shooting combat. He is now stealth and then -1 to melee. He did go down 15 points. Probably could use another decrease further, frankly.
Sure.
He's kind of back to where he was previously. I think there are better, cheaper character options.
Okay.
And then if we continue on down, we have the old Razorback here. And the Razorback goes down to 75 points. I really like it in Warping. If you hit a target with it, you get +1 AP out of it. So like 5 Purifiers with 2 side cannons is really good, or 5 Brigaders. Is quite good coming out of that. Even Interceptors don't mind it. So that's quite nice. And then the Rhino goes down to 70 points. So you can have some pretty cheap, I'm just going to touch this. Instead of looking for Imperial Agents for a cheap action unit, you can just use these two instead. And they require effort. Strike Squad goes down 5 points. 10, you never see the 10 model unit, but the 5 model unit, you're always running at least 1. So that's a nice little bit of a decrease as well. Ultimately, I think Grey Knights are sitting pretty because of that change to the army rule, allowing them to manipulate turn 1. And then
dispositions.
The dispositions, there are changes there.
Oh.
They have made Purge the Foe access dramatically harder. That was the dominant style for Grey Knights because you would get it with Argent Assault, the Paladin, the 1 DP Paladin detachment.
I see.
You can bring it into anything. And then Warpbane Task Force was also Purge the Foe with its 3 DP. Now Warpbane is taken hold, which I don't mind because I prefer drawing people in with Grey Knights rather than having to initiate. So I actually quite like that change. I think it's a little bit of a buff. But in terms of the other options, Banishers, which is stuck at Disruption, if it wants the Paladin detachment, Argent Assault, it needs to be priority assets now, which, is a good detachment, but Grey Knights are going to have to think about what they want to be those button-pushing units, because it's not really something we want to have to do turn in, turn out. So I think Warpbane benefits quite a bit from this. Banishers is still going to be good. Hollow Conclave, if you like that as well, can be taken hold plus Argent Assault. And maybe we'll see a shift from Banishers to Hollow Conclave because of this change. It's possible. But otherwise, Grey Knight's sitting pretty, in my opinion. Moving on to Imperial Agents. Yes, we're going to cover them. We have been covering them each time, and they actually have changes. They are treated as an army this time, which is awesome.
Assassin down 10. Let's go.
Eversur Assassin.
Let's go.
Grey Knight Terminators, which is worse than the version the Grey Knights have because this is the Index Grey Knight Terminators, not the current version. So they don't get the extra AP against monsters and vehicles. But it's down 15 points. Cool. Imperial Rhino down to 65 points. The Chimera down as well. The Sisters Immolator at 90 points. You're definitely taking some of those. That was
60 points for a Chimera?
65, I think. Oh, 60 points,
60?
Yeah, the Inquisitorial one.
What?
Yeah.
60 points.
You can spam the board with bodies and transports now.
That is so cheap.
That is.
Wow, okay, cool.
Sisters of Battle Immolator at 90 points. Awesome. You're definitely seeing those bad boys. And then that's for Imperial Agents directly. If you have them allied in, your Deathwatch kill team goes down 10 points, the Eviscer goes down 10, the Terminators go down 20, the Rhino goes down 65, and the Chimera, Immolator, etc. go down accordingly, along with some Sisters and the Watchmaster to kind of match what the other points are in the actual Deathwatch and Sisters MFMs.
Yeah, that's very interesting because a Sisters of Battle squad in an Immolator is a really good ally for some of the more elite armies. Like, I know Grey Knights don't need to ignore cover as much, but I know that Knights actually quite like that option.
Yeah, for sure. It gives you 2 cheap sticky objective units. Well, that's Sisters, right? The Battle Sisters.
Yep.
Sticky objectives, and then you strip cover with the Immolator. Not a bad ally package. Like, I've thought about running it in AdMech in previous metas, and you know that's not a terrible thing.
Yeah, no kidding.
Then we have disposition and detachment cost changes here. Veiled Blade elimination point go down. Blade Force goes down to 1 DP. This is the Assassin detachment. And then all the other ones go to 2 DP. So you can always bring the Assassins one in, which would have been a downside previously because it makes you, if you want to run your Assassins, cost way more. Now those enhancements are at a reasonable cost for your Assassins.
Yeah, look at all that green.
It's a lot of green. So
fair and valid.
You always get 2 detachments now with Imperial Agents, buffing your Assassins and whichever other thing you want. And then they change the disposition so that there isn't a bunch of Purge the Foe or random nonsense around. So Imperialis fleet goes to Recon. That's a good disposition for it. The Ordo Malleus, Demon Hunters one is priority assets. Ordo Hereticus, Take and Hold. And then the Ordo Xenos one is Purge the Foe. And Veiled is Disruption. So you can have one of each of them, and you can decide what you want to prioritize. Still, Imperialis fleet is the best set of rules, so you'll probably see that plus Veiled.
Yeah, because Veiled also had a number of stratagems that were actually decent at helping agents. It's just that you didn't want to go around with 0 rules.
Yeah.
But having the combo is really nice. And your Assassins went up in points, but you are taking enough transports and Chimeras that this is going to wash out very evenly. And now you get to play Recon and have an extra detachment.
This is a pretty big boost to Imperial Agents. I expect those players to be very, very happy with this.
I think they have waited long enough. I think they deserve this one.
They really did. They earned it. And then we'll move on to Imperial Knights. Imperial Knights is our next faction here.
Not much for Imperial Knights. I think the literal only change to the cost was the Castellan went up 25 points or 30 on the second. So that's a...
Dominus Foe Breakers.
That is, I think, fair because the Castellan was a question mark costed before.
Yeah, it was
really good, really good. But still, I think as Knights you're happy to not eat more. Although I have to say it that the detachment Gate Warden Lance took a nerf because you now have to put a circular marker in the center of an objective marker. Of an objective terrain feature, and you now draw a line between the 2 circle markers. Now it doesn't define the size of the circle marker, which means
I saw that.
But it's from the closest point of the 2. So
exactly.
it's like the line is going through the middle, but it means that you want to use the smallest circle possible because you don't get the benefit on the circle. So honestly, you want to use like one of those like little tiny like confetti beads, which is
just a dot.
Yeah, like because if you use a 40mm base, you're losing 20mm of line that's just free to have. I feel like it should be from the center of the marker.
Yes.
Just so that we can stop.
And it should be a 40 millimeter, whatever their
just
standard.
make it a 32 mil center
32
of
mil,
whatever, please. That's kind of weird. But the line is a lot thinner and points are a little bit thinner with the Castellan nerf. Still, I think that Knights are not in a bad spot because they still have some really good rules to fall back on. And
there's some
Gate Warden Lance is now taken hold. And the Freeblade is now Prio. And Dominus is now Prio. They lost a lot of their Purge the Foe access. Yes. Crazy.
They used to be swimming in it.
Yeah. No, not anymore. Valor Strike's their only Purge, which is an interesting choice. It's not invalid. But very, very surprised to see them lose that much Purge. But also probably for the best.
Yeah.
Taking hold is still very strong, so I'm not mad about that for Knights.
And even with priority assets, they can still do it pretty reasonably because Titanic benefits a lot.
Yeah, Titanic does action so much better than I was expecting.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm in engagement range. I'll still do it. I will still shoot.
Yeah, there's no downsides.
All right, moving on to Leagues of Votann here. So it's going to be a couple little decreases to Barrack Stormbrow. He is the Chthonian Berserk character. You can't heal him back with the Dev Assault Shift detachment anymore.
That's good.
Just a game-wide change. So he's gone down 10 points here. The Brokir Ironmaster down 5 points, and then Bury goes down 10 points. So those units are a little bit more reasonable, I think. At this points cost, they are just good units, and I'm excited to test them out further. Then the Capricus Carrier, which is splits up Jaegers, it actually goes down 5 points here. That's amazing because you're always running 1 or 2 of them, so every list is going to get 5 or 10 points, which is usually kind of either shifting one unit or upgrading an enhancement.
Sure.
And then the Sagittar here gets a requisition threshold cost for the 4th model at 95 points, but otherwise stays at 85. It's one of the few transports in the game that didn't get a base decrease.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Partly because it shoots better than most transports, frankly. But I wouldn't mind seeing it go down 5 points.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
And then if we move into the detachment here, the Armored Trailblazers, which is the Sagittar detachment, the enhancement to buff its shooting went up 15 points, or went up by 5 points to 15, which, it's kind of pricey. Now I probably would just keep them cheaper. And then I believe that is the only change here. Everything else about Votann is good. The Brandfast Oathband, they did confirm that the secure position stratagem in that detachment is at the end of any Votann phase. They didn't put it back to hostile acquisition locked again.
Sure. Are you the only one that didn't change disposition at all?
I believe so, and that's because Votann has a very balanced disposition set that fits how they play.
Yeah, look at that. I don't mind any of the choices.
I've been very happy with playing the variety of detachments with Votann. I think this is overall, once again, just a net positive for the army.
That's good.
Very, very consistent army, as it always is. Consistent points, consistent army.
Rock and Stone.
The Arcanist of Valor didn't go up, John. I'm still sniping you.
Science
nerd.
I'll take care of that for next time.
No, don't you dare. Don't you dare.
All right.
Okay, moving on to Necrons here.
Ooh.
So there's going to be quite a few changes. Canoptic Reanimator goes back up 5 points to 75. I don't know why it went down 5 points. It was like the most durable 70-point unit in the game.
Yeah,
now it's the most durable 75-point unit.
If you told me it went down to 75, I'd be like, wow, that makes sense that it would have cost more than that before. 70 before?
It went to 70.
Okay.
Chronomancer gets that -1 to hit change to stealth and -1 to hit in melee. Goes down 10 points because of that. The Doomsday Arc goes up 10 points and a further 10 if you run a third one. I frankly haven't been running any and haven't really seen lists that run any, so I don't know where this is coming from, but is what it is.
Same place as my Suppressor nerf.
Yeah, same place. Locust Destroyers, they were a little bit cheap at 6 for 160. They go up 10 for the 6 model units. Perfectly reasonable if you're still running them. This doesn't really change anything. Sure. The Locust Heavy Destroyers get the same change back up to kind of where they were, but it does help the smaller units. So if you were running any of the more MSU versions, like I like 2 Heavy Locusts coming in with the mass in Mythics and just blowing up hordes.
Yep.
I still like that. Even the solo one's pretty good for its points. Necrosar Amintar goes back up. I think he decreased because the fight first was less impactful, but he's still great and pretty much an auto take.
Yeah.
Goes back to where he was.
Totally fine.
Scorpec Lord, the third one, costs 100 points now.
As attacks.
Yep. Tesseract Vault goes up 20, and the next one goes up 20.
Someone got a little worried about something there.
Now, was there double Tesseract at Tacoma? 100% there was.
Gaming.
It's very good into Orks, and Farron's Armory gives it AOC access, so like it is good.
Very good in Orks.
Base and Phalanx, it's great in. Yeah, if you were running one, you're going to find 20 points somewhere, and you're still going to run the same theme. But running multiple is prohibitive, is getting expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Silent King goes up 20 points.
He's very good.
He's very good.
You're not going to cut him.
I'm not cutting him. I'm finding 20 points.
Yeah, that's just one of those things.
I've been running him in Obeisance Phalanx, and that is a drug.
Good,
I mean, he is ludicrous in that detachment. So, Necrons all nerfs here. They also take the healing change nerf, where you can't bring characters back if they get precisioned out with your healing mechanic, which is reanimation. And then on top of that, if you use Awakened Dynasty and want to stand back up your characters, they come up unattached, and so you don't get the unit back as well, which is definitely a nerf, but you're typically using it on the 4 Phenopane Lord, Necrosaur, Illuminator Xeris, and it's still amazing at that. Mm-hmm. It just gives you a full... It's 1 CP to get a unit back and just have a unit on the board. It is valuable. So yeah, Necrons take some nerfs there. And then in terms of the Murder Mine tells you what it can run on the sheet here. Pantheon of Woe goes away from Purge of the Foe and becomes Disruption. I don't think anybody was taking Pantheon in the first place, but now there's like no reason to. You don't have enough units to play Disruption. Come on now, what are we talking about? And
I feel like the Catan detachment could have stayed Purge of the Foe.
It could have stayed Purge the Foe, because frankly, you were never seeing it anyway.
Something has to be Purge the Foe.
And they have Cursed and Annihilation, but like,
Yeah, but like, come on. Pantheon of Woe could have been
Pantheon of
Curse the
Woe
Foe.
could have stayed Purge. It was
The
fine.
Murder God Detachment murders. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, now you're never seeing that at all.
No, it's gone,
But
yeah, it's
otherwise, everything else is the same. And Necrons definitely take some nerfs here, not as much as like Ultramarines or Chaos Space Marines that we've seen, but still they're in that next tier below of actually taking points increases on pretty much every list.
Makes sense.
Okay.
I think we're onto a big one now.
Orks!
Wow.
Number 1 win rate army in the game over the last 4 weeks.
Very popular as well.
Very popular army, and they just won the biggest super major from the last weekend. They've been performing. They had actually an Orc mirror with 2 very different lists of fighting it out in a 1-point battle.
They will receive different changes.
So if we go through this here, we've got the Big Mech Daka rig going up 15 points. There were certainly some of these in lists. Shoots very hard for its points. Big Mech with Shock Attack Gun gets its threshold to the second unit that you take. So if you start spamming them in your Ludas or whatnot.
They'll notice pretty fast, yeah.
Boys up 10 points for the large squad. So if you are running 40, 50 boys, it's going to start adding up there. Gretchen get a change where they have, you pay points for the first and second run herd in the 20 model unit. So you can run just 20 Gretchen without any run herds for 80. You can then pay additional for your larger squads.
This has to be born out of the fact. Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah.
This has to be born out of the fact that the Armageddon box comes with 10 Gretchen, no runt herd, and the box on shelves separately is 10 Gretchen with a runt herd. So this is just covering all the possibilities of how did someone acquire their Gretchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they go up for 40. Were they 45?
They were 45.
Yeah, they were
for
45. Yeah, so it's just
10
changing
and
the
a runt
combo.
herd, yeah.
So a little bit of increase if you were running the bigger squads with both run herds. The mech goes up 10 points. A lot of flash gets in trucks that are getting +1 to hit from a mech. That goes
Wow,
up.
that's almost as much as a truck.
Well, we'll get there. Pain Boss. I don't remember seeing a Pain Boss, but the Pain Boy goes up 10. He's the 5 Athena Pain guy.
Yeah, the
for
Pain Boy is the one that has a lot of rules. The Pain Boss is the one you've never seen in your life.
I've never seen that guy, but the Pain Boy, he was in every Orc list. You were seeing 3 of them, 2 of them.
Yeah, I'm surprised about the Pain Boss.
Well, he had the word pain in his name, so
They got him.
he's taking it.
Oh, they got
He's taking that pain.
They got
He's
him.
taking an Erdy syringe right to the neck.
Oh, God, someone else besides me had to do it.
Yeah, the amount of times I saw over the weekend Erdy syringe do like 13 mortal wounds to something, it was ludicrous. All right, so yeah, he's up to 90 points. You're still taking him though. That is not going to stop.
Yeah.
So a big boy squad is going to take 20 points on the 10 boys and then 10 on the pain boy. And then if you were running the war boss, you'll take 10 there. Gaz escapes a nerf. He's an auto take. He probably should have gone up a little bit. The truck at 55 points though is insane. What are we doing?
55 is...
It could have went to 60 if other transports are going down, but 55? What are we doing? The funny thing is that Steve Pamprine, who finished runner-up at Tacoma, his
Very
list,
impressive
I
run.
believe, only went up 10 points because he was running a very different Cultist speed
Yeah,
and
a bunch of Def Coptas.
yeah, Def Coptas and 3 trucks. So because the trucks went down, it canceled out a lot of the increases since he wasn't running some of the other stuff. So
Yeah, whereas I think the winning list went up, I would guess, close to 100 and can't triple lead anymore.
yeah, their Primarch like model Bazdak Gutsmith doesn't go up at all. He's been sitting there at 175. He's one of those few new characters who has really good rules who hasn't gone up a single time. So now there are other changes here in the dispositions. Equatorial Hordes, which is spelled correctly for some reason. It's how is
This-
you're
okay.
telling there are human beings who cannot spell equatorial right now in this chat, and you're telling me orcs are going to be spelling it correctly? No, that is
The problem is, as every park ranger in America can tell you, there's an overlap between the dumbest guardsman and the smartest orc.
the smartest orc.
Yeah. So, Equatorial Hordes, folks. This has to be the Imperial classification for just this one detachment.
It has to be because that's craziness. Anyway,
Yeah,
there's a
how
couple.
this isn't Jungle Gits is beyond me.
Yeah, there's some major changes here. Green Tide is up to 3 detachment point costs. So you cannot combo it with anything anymore. No more Tactical Brigade, no more Equatorial Hordes in the first place. So they shut that down, and that's a pretty decent
Thank
change.
God.
In addition to that,
I was a little scared, folks.
yeah, that is bigger than the points nerfs.
I was a little
frankly.
nervous. Yeah.
because there were some impactful things there. It's still taking hold, so it is self-sufficient. But Dread Mob also changes. I believe it was Purge. It is now Priority Assets instead. And then the Tactical Brigade changed to Reconnaissance as well, and Mordaka changed to Disruption. So that 1 DP Purge access, not there anymore. Yeah, those are pretty impactful changes to the disposition detachments. You'll see in the FAQ in just a little bit that there's some further changes, but I'll just kind of spoil it now, honestly. The triple leading of the Orc characters, where you had 2 leaders and a support, they ended that. In addition, the Green Tide stratagem that technically was worded that you could surge before your opponent shot you, it is now as a normal surge, which was reasonable in the first place. I don't know if any event played it that way, but yeah. So Orcs taking some nerfs here, but frankly, if I'm looking at this, I don't think compared to Ultramarines or to the Chaos Space Marines that this is quite enough. I think Orcs are still absolutely top tiered. They might come down to where they're only like a top 6 army instead of a top 2 army, but they might end up staying up there. We will see.
I have my own prediction on that one.
There is a game coming out that we're going to be recording really soon that is going to feature Michael playing his Freebooters crew alongside Mordaka. And he thinks that list is just completely awesome and, ultimately doesn't care about them. His lift went up like 90 points. He's like, I cut a unit. I feel great.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, fair enough.
I think that's valid. So, I think Orcs, relative to those 2 armies you just mentioned, just skated by.
They kind of skated
pretty
they
were
lightly.
doing much better than CSM and got hit less hard.
Yep. Whereas like some of those factions, every key unit got hit. Not every key unit hit. Like
it's a big difference. Okay.
Moving on to Space Wolves. So they get some decreases here, like Black Templars, for some of their melee units.
Yeah.
Aryak, a Rock Fist, goes down 10 points to 95. He was just an auto take in every Space Wolf list, so that's just 10 points into your list. Iron Priest goes down 5 at 50 points, another really cheap leader.
50 points is aggressively good.
Now, could I tell you what an Iron Priest does? No, I can't.
I can tell you. He gives one of your weapons rapid fire 1.
He's that
one
guy.
weapon. He's that guy.
He used to be better, but...
Used to be better.
Logan Grimnar, auto take as well, goes down 10 points. Najal, not an auto take, goes down 10 points. Ragnar, pretty good unit, goes down 10 points. And then Wolfguard Terminators, the Stepper is on the 3rd unit now, I believe, instead of the 2nd.
Okay.
Which has 30 Space Wolf Terminators doing really well at Tacoma, would say.
Yeah.
That's pretty good
for
these Space Wolf players. Wolf Scouts go down a little bit as well, and then they take the Marine changes as a whole. But Space Wolf players are going to be feeling pretty good about this, of course, in the context of the meta. And then for their detachments...
Yeah. Space Wolves also, again, like some of these other traps you mentioned, weren't relying on the majority of the Space Marine units that went up.
True. They take the normal Space Marine changes, and then Champions of Fenris switches to priority assets.
Ooh.
And let's see, did any of their other detachments...
If something changed, that means it either used to be Purge or they moved a Purge into a priority somewhere.
And I believe that is going to be the only one there for them.
Okay.
So just a change in terms of that disposition alongside the Marine ones. So you're cooking with your normal list.
Yeah, very cool.
Most likely. All right, so Space Wolves feeling pretty happy about that. Once again, a Marine chapter that feels good overall without getting directly targeted.
Yeah.
Tau Empire. Directly targeted is something that happened here. And we'll talk about it. Broadside Battlesuits. The 3 model unit goes up 15 base points, which means the unit of the missile side variant goes back up to 270. So quite pricey once again. Just as I was running my double missile side unit, it goes back up. Commander Farsight goes down 10 again.
That's your boy.
He is my boy. Unfortunately, he can't be taken if you run an Ethereal, and Tau really are CP starved. And so I want an Ethereal, and so I can't really take him.
That's a bit of a bummer.
Okay. I don't know what points he would have to be for me to drop the Ethereal and take him instead. Like 70 points is good for him. He's good at 70
points. If he killed a character in a melee, he gave you a command point, like Corsair Khan.
What if he just had the +1 CP I get all the time? Well, then I would take him.
That'd be crazy.
If going on with the Devilfish goes down 10. Now, I have been recently transitioning from... in my Monka build to running Breacher Fish. So this is going to help my list quite a bit.
Sure.
Ghost Kill Battlesuit goes up 5 points for the 3rd one. I don't know who was running 3 Ghost Kills besides me. It's sometimes in Kalyun. And then the Cyclic Iron Raker goes up 5. Honestly, I think you take the Fusion because I really don't want to be failing hazardous tests on a Ghost Kill. I want that thing surviving and taking as much damage as possible.
Yeah, sure.
So I think you just take the Fusion now. Hammerhead Gunship, once again... who was taking Hammerhead? I literally have not seen a single Tau list win an event with a Hammerhead. Maybe it's out there, but certainly I haven't seen like a swarm of multi-Hammerhead lists. Like, what is this?
Yeah, I'm surprised by that as well. It didn't need to go down, but I
could have stayed where it was. It was
I was
fine.
surprised by that.
Or if it's the railgun that I assume is the problem here, make it the railgun cost 10, not the base Hammerhead. Anyway, Pathfinder teams base 5-point increase. The third unit goes up to 100 base cost, so significant nerfs to the Pathfinder teams. And running 3 is pretty expensive at this point. And we're probably gonna have to be shaving those ions off just to save some points here. Unfortunately, Riptide goes up 10 base as well, and then the third unit goes up 10 base as well. Then the Ion Accelerator goes up 5 points. Your Riptides are going to go up 15 points per where they were. And then the third one goes up, the same. That is pretty pricey. Riptides are getting quite expensive at this point. Yeah. Now, I don't think the base cost should have gone up, frankly. If they really wanted to increase it, just increase the accelerator because the heavy burst cannon has done no wrong. I've not seen anybody take it at the lower cost, and it just got up 10 points again, which I just don't think that really works. The Storm Surge up 15 points base. It was mostly seen in Monka. Once again, a lot of things are because of Monka, frankly, even though Retaliation Cadre was the style that had the best win rate.
Ret Cadre also was putting up I would say better tournament placings.
It was.
Which
this stuff is like, you'd see like 2 Riptides and Ret Cadres some lists.
Yeah.
But this is also hurting Monka, the Storm Surge specifically. Twin Lance goes up another 15 points. At this point, 220. It is quite pricey. It's right around a Riptide cost. So you could get a Riptide instead. And there's going to be reasons to think about both of those. The Tiger Shark goes up 50 points. It can come in and shoot the turn it comes in now. They did allow that.
Best 50 point enhancement in the game.
But that is 50 points.
That 50 points to get all these weapons that you're allowed to fire now.
Pretty pricey. It fires really hard the first time.
It lost frame is, I think, why.
It can shoot when it comes in, which it couldn't previously.
I think because it lost frame, it can now just arrive and shoot. Unless they also put an FAQ in. But
I think I think that was in the Tacoma FAQ. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It goes up 50 points. That's pretty pricey for what you get. And then Retaliation Cadre goes to 3 DP. So Tau has the least amount of detachment combos besides, I guess, technically Imperial Agents, just because they have limited detachments. That's tough. That is tough. I think Tau get hit pretty hard here. Now, they were a very good army. We're going to have to see how they recover from this, because most of our core units, like Pathfinders, Twin Lance, Riptide, are going up. So like every list. If you're running Crisis Suits, you actually like this change as a whole, you might pivot further to that. But we are going to have to see how that does. Retaliation Cadre wasn't getting a tremendous amount from Advanced Acquisition Cadre, and you couldn't bring in Experimental Prototype anyway. So, if you're running Retaliation Cadre, you still run it. It just means something like the list diversity is going to continue to narrow down here to continue to be Monka and Retaliation Cadre, I think. Would like to see some buffs directly to Kalyan to offset some of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a second layer really. Well, there's not really a third layer, is what I would say. But, we'll see. Tau, I've been shooting people really hard in the Breacher Fish combos. If you haven't played those in a while, they really do shoot a lot harder in this edition, and they interact with your opponent wherever they are. So that's what I would recommend pivoting towards. Thousand Suns.
Oh boy.
Another army that was,
oh man,
top win rate. Tau was towards the top of event, but its win rate was a little bit lower. Thousand Suns and Orks had the number 1, number 2 win rates for many weeks.
A couple weeks in a row. Thousand Suns got hit. Both their Predators went up, same as CSM. The Rhino went down, same as everyone else. They are going to see increases to a number of things. Their Defiler, I don't know why their Defiler went up.
Well, the reason it went up is every Defiler that was Deathguard and Emperor's Children Defiler went up the same, but they received some rules changes here.
Yeah.
Which is that the 6 of Phenopane was removed. Why they had that in the first place, I'm not sure. But then their 4-up Overwatch is now something entirely different. I'm forgetting what it was.
Heroically intervene for -1 CP.
We did it. That is a funny rule.
I think... call me a crab apologist. I think that they could have just nerfed the rules and not raised the points.
They're making sure, John. They're making sure. And I'm not
I think
it's gone on too long.
I think they got him.
I think they got him.
It's been like 3 months is the funny thing. Like this model came out 3 months ago.
Yes, but it was 3 months of April. 5 separate sub-factions running 2 of these in every list.
Too good. Look, I don't even play T-Suns. The EC one going up, fair and justified. But like, I honestly, did the Defiler have to, like, the T-Sun one got hurt so hard.
Was the T-Sun's one the one that had additional AP randomly on certain weapons? Did it
Still
keep
does,
that?
Still does.
Okay.
It's also
that's
worth
why.
pointing
That's
out
why.
that their event companion says this unit loses 6 at Feel No Pain as like, not the event companion, like the faction pack says it on the changes. The data sheet still has it.
I think it'll be gone.
I think it'll be gone the next time someone notices that. So like I wouldn't play with it. But I feel like it didn't need the base cost increase in like the CSM one got small points increase, rules nerf.
Yeah, I could see it just on the second
EC
one.
and Deathguard one got no rules change, larger increase. That felt very valid. These T-Sun's getting both ends of this.
They were doing bad things to people out there.
They weren't
And
even.
we're not
weren't even using Defilers for it. But don't worry, all the other units are going to get nerfed too.
Forge Fiend up 5 points for the Ectoplasma Cannon is added on there. And then Scarab Cult Terminators, the 10 model unit goes up 15 points. And then the third unit will also go up another 15 points.
Yep.
So Wolfguard Terminators escape. Scarab Cults do not.
Do not.
Sekitar Robots. This was the big spammable unit, and it's going to get nerfed in points here and in a different way. So up 5 points for 2, up 15 for the 4 model unit. And then if you run 3+ units, those will also go to 100 base and then 190. So quite expensive for those if you want to spam them. The Sorcerer, if you had the third unit, you go to 95 on that. Zangor Enlightened, still pretty cheap at 50 points. They were 45 points, which is insane.
That's almost as much as a truck.
50 points is still quite cheap.
Everything is measured in trucks now.
Zangor Shaman goes up 5. Fate Weaver goes up 10. And then the Lords of Change, if you were running that detachment, go up an additional. Same as the Chaos Demons.
But wait, there's more.
But the detachment changes. We have Hexwarp Thrallband goes up to 3 DP. So you cannot combine that with the Sekitar Robot cohort detachment. And then for the dispositions, the Sekitar cohort becomes Disruption, which is way less valuable, although you're probably taking hold at that point. And then a Warforged Cabal becomes Priority Assets. And then Ritual of Regeneration becomes Taken Hold. So all their 1 DPs changed.
Wow.
Or sorry, 2 of their 1
2 of them,
DPs changed, and then they're one of the 2 DPs.
That's a solid. It's a solid hit.
That is, they are going to take this. They are going to feel this.
They were, according to the numbers, one of the 2 best armies in the game.
Yep.
This is probably the single hardest hit I've seen of the edition. And then the edition's young, so it doesn't mean much, but
I would say them, CSM, Ultramarines, and then
I think in that order.
Tau Necrons.
Yeah.
And then Orks.
Then Orks.
I think Orks escaped the top layer. Like they
Objectively,
technically went
Orks got hit harder than Necrons, but they also had so much more to give.
They have so much more to give. Yeah.
T-Suns have a lot of power, and so like it's entirely possible that they're fine. I don't really understand the inner workings of the 9th level Crystal Palace, but that is a hard hit.
Yeah, like rubrics didn't go up. Most of their sorcerers didn't go up. So their princes, etc. So they still have other things to work in. You're probably walking away from the Defiler, and then now you're not gonna spam as many robots.
I think you're on 0 Defilers, and we're working from there. Replacing that Defiler with something that is not the same points cost and moving on.
Yeah. All right, moving on to Tyranids.
Yay! Oh,
all right, take it away, John.
All right, so Tyranids have, I would call relatively light changes. We're going to see that they increase like 1 or 2 things, decrease 3 or 4 things. Maliceptor's up 10. It's a Psyker with a good gun. I'm fine with that. Neurotyrant up 15, which I am surprised by. I'm surprised the Neurotyrant went up again. I don't really know what it was doing that justified that. It's not a -1 to hit.
-1 battle shock, right? That's what
Yeah.
It's
good.
I honestly think that the Zoanthrope 6-man should have went up, taking that cost. That unit's really good.
Yeah, the 6-man is only taken with Neurotyrant, so maybe this is how they saw that.
This is how they saw it, yeah.
Yeah. And then we see a couple of things are going to come down. Like the talk screen is down 15.
The toxic screen.
Just give it frame. Let's just move on to their life. The Tyrannocyte's down 10, which is perfectly fine, but not terribly interesting.
Is their transport?
Yeah, it's the drop pod. Not that interesting.
How cheap are we getting on Von Ryan's Leapers over here?
They are getting, admittedly, very cheap.
Down 15 for 6? 105?
105 for 6 of them is like...
This goes down like every update.
Yeah, I thought we were good.
Yeah. This feels like a step.
105. I mean, you're only paying 50 points for the second 3. That's just, it's not expensive. So I'm okay with that. And then 3 strong zone throws went down 10 points, which I think is valid because I've never seen a 3 strong zone throw.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen one in the last 3 years.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly. I think that's a good unit at 3.
Yeah, it's cute.
90.
90 points is not bad. Tyranids were in a perfectly fine but not exciting spot. I think that you could look at this and be like, all right, I guess it's like a little, like it went up a little bit on some builds, it went down a little bit on some builds. It kind of depends on what your ratio was. I think most Tyranid lists are going up like less than 20 points. And we're just moving on for life. I don't think their dispositions changed at all. I think Vanguard Onslaught had one of their enhancements go up 10 points or 5 points or something.
It went up 10. Hunting Grounds, which is when you come in from reserves, you take a battle shock.
It's a good enhancement.
That is good. Grey Knights ate that.
Yeah, it's a good enhancement. So broadly speaking, I'm just like, yeah, happy for Tyranids. At this point, baby nerf means you're fine because a lot of things we didn't want to play against as Tyranids got hit pretty hard.
Yep. And then we have World Eaters, and they
Last
are the
one,
army
baby.
that perhaps got the most significant points buffs in this update, as a lot of their key units went down. So we have Mr. Angron here going down 20 points.
Good.
Their Predators have gone down. Their Rhino went down, which is nice for their Khorne Berserker packages. Chaos Terminators go down. They have a detachment that supports them. Their Defiler, the second one, and the weapons did go up a little bit, but not. They had started at a cheaper base cost.
Yeah, and they didn't go up as much as some of the others did.
8-bound, Exalted 8-bound go down 10 for 3 and 15 for 6. Big change there. And then the third unit is also cheaper. Forge Fiends go down significantly in base cost, but you do have to pay for the Ectoplasma if you want it. Khorne Berserkers, 10 and 20 model units go down. Lord Invocatus, Lord on Juggernaut, that typically lead the bigger squads, have gone down. Mauler Fiend went down. Blood Crushers, you're going to take the nerf on the Khorne Demonkin. But other than that, all these decreases are certainly going to offset it. And these decreases are their core units, so they will benefit many different play styles.
Yeah, this is just a buff to World Eaters, everything all the time, no matter what. Now, I will say I'm of the opinion that World Eaters was in a relatively dire spot, and so I think that these were justified. I'm very curious to see where they land, because across a list, I think you're easily picking up 100 points if you're running like a classic Berserker Warband archetype. They had a couple of dispositions.
They have a couple important changes here.
Brazen Engines.
They have their unique tags were removed from Goretrack Onslaught and from Brazen Engines. So there are more detachment combos than ever before. And their force dispositions changed. For Brazen Engines became Disruption. And then I think that was the only. And then for Butchers of Khorne, it became Taken Hold.
Yeah, no kidding.
So they're really trying to emphasize they want more competition with Berserker Warband through making more interesting combinations outside of that.
That's good.
So I think if you're a World Eaters fan, you're going to be very, very happy with
definitely a step in the right direction. And you can still lead. You can lead Fleshhounds with that enhancement in Khorne Demonkin. I think you only used to be Blood Crushers. Now you can lead Fleshhounds. I don't think I want to. I'm just like,
yeah, it's weird, but I guess that gives you uppy downy.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, so that is going to be the MFM. Of course, there are faction FAQs. We went through some of the changes because we're not going to just go through each one by one because there's a lot of similar changes. We kind of mentioned some of those, but we're going to hit some of the highlights here for changes, starting with Space Marines.
So Space Marines, we see that there's a couple of changes to some of the Stormlance equivalents. So Stormlance, it's -1 to hit and wound and shooting strat for fly and mounted vehicles and things, is no longer -1 to hit. And so that's a very significant nerf. But in exchange, their old strat, which was mounted, reroll charges, and have lance, now is just 1 CPU have lance. Which is funny because that's a double nerf to Thundercalf. But it's a buff to melee Stormlance, where we would occasionally see Blood Angels running Stormlance recently. That's a huge buff for them. Mm-hmm. If you were running the speeder heavy, not that melee heavy version of Ultramarines, it's kind of like a side grade because you can have one good melee unit with lance, like a Victor's Guard unit, and that's pretty cool. So probably a little side grade on Stormlance, but I think Stormlance at 3 DP is just in a really bad spot, bluntly. I just think Stormlance doesn't compare as a 3 DP. To me, it's
3 DP in Space Marines, but not in
the As a 2 DP, I think it's okay. As a 3 DP, it's not. Of course, the only way to take Stormlance as a 2 DP in regular Space Marines is in White Scars, where you take Spear Point. Spear Point also got that same nerf, but they didn't get a compensating buff. So White Scars nerf, a little sad about that one. Other than that, most of these changes were like things that don't matter. Blade Guard got a relevant one. They lost the real ones to hit or save, weird thing that didn't really work in 11th edition, and they now can choose to be +1 to hit or -1 to hit. And the timing's actually changed. It's no longer start of the fight phase, it's when they're selected to fight. So you can look at your opponent and they say, I'm going to start on the Blade Guard, and you're like, all right, -1 to hit. But if they start somewhere else, you can be like, interrupt, +1 to hit. If you get a little bit more flex on that, which is actually kind of nice. Other than that, I think most of the changes were relatively cleany uppy. Like, I think they don't punish you for not attaching something to your company heroes anymore. It's just not a good unit. And then I think that they also, they added a bolt pistol to the chaplain who just didn't have a bolt pistol, but he should have. There's like little things like that. So mostly it's Stormlights. I don't think either of those are that impactful. I think White Scars were optimistically, the 5th Legion was the 5th best Space Marine chapters where I would currently put them. And a Stormlance nerf / buff wasn't enough. I think it'll help out Blood Angels though that kind of army.
All right, next up we have the Orks one, and I kind of went through 2 of the main rules, which is that you cannot triple lead a boys unit anymore, which is a nerf. In addition, they fixed the surge stratagem and the timing on that. The last change I want to mention is that they changed the name of the Crushing Impact stratagem in the Bully Boys detachment to Crushing Impact with a K and no G.
There we go. GW, how long until
Coolest
you can
change.
rename Equatorial Hordes?
To something else.
Honestly, Equatorial with a K. I don't care. Something else here.
I don't know where that came from.
That is like the
that is the
thing.
most erudite orc that has ever existed. Came up with that one.
They changed some things like they
changed
the blood surge.
Yep. Some of the distances changed. A lot of 9-inch things went to 8 inches to be consistent with the game, and then some of the data sheet changes that exist, or like teleporting boss Snickrot, how that works. And this is things that you're going to see across the FAQs. So we're not going to go through all those little ones. Sisters, they confirmed how Miracle Dice works, which is that you must first apply the Miracle Die and then you roll the dice for the rest of the activation. Instead
and that's
of
for hits, wounds, saves, everything.
And damage.
You have to do it first.
Yep. So that is certainly a nerf to how it was played previously. But I think Sisters are going to appreciate some of the changes they received to their points and dispositions.
And I think that for damage rolls, Sisters can still do it the way they want, because damage rolls are done one at a time. So if you fail 3 saves against multi-multiples, they can roll miracle. Whereas on a hit wound or save roll, you would be like 3 miracle roll 2.
Yeah, you don't have to roll every damage roll.
But damage, because it's one at a time, I think you get to do it the better way.
But a big set of FAQ changes is Dark Angels. They have a wide set of changes here.
They really do.
Significant ones, too.
So we're going to start off with Company of Hunters, which is their totally not Stormlance attachment. It's like the Ravenwing themed one from the Codex. So they've changed this one a couple of times, and they're doing it again because they buff this like once a year, and it usually goes nowhere, but hey, maybe this time. So now they changed some of the wording, like you get Assault instead of other things. That's actually the same functionally. You used to have Advance and Shoot, now you gain Assault. That's fine. Doesn't matter. But the big thing is that there are 2 stratagems in Dark Angels that have received relatively significant changes, both for Company of Hunters. They used to have when Death on the Wind. This is when a Ravenwing unit shot you. You took a battle shock test -1 if you were like within 6 of a Ravenwing. Now it's just Advance and Charge. Now Ravenwing already has Advance and Charge from the detachment rule. That's not changed at all. So this is for not Ravenwing essentially.
That's very helpful.
Very helpful. Then they have Talon Strike. This used to be Ravenwing mounted, +1 to wound against infantry or mounted characters, shooting or fight phase. Now it's 1 CP Lance. Just Lance, not +1 in Assault Doctrine, not +1 for mounted, just Lance. The Lance is pretty good. So 2 nice buffs there that make it more interesting to put regular infantry units in Company of Hunters, because Company of Hunters has been you take the Ravenwing stuff because like nothing else is getting enough buffs, or you take like shooting holes. Like weirdly, the best things for Company of Hunters was like Ravenwing, tanks, Centurions. And I was like, okay, that's kind of a weird mixed bag. So it's nice to have some benefit to putting like a lion or an inner circle companion who, hey, they're cheaper and it's not -1 hit anymore in there. So there's some actual real upside to that. And then they did a couple more because they really did put a lot of changes in here.
They put a
the
lot of
lion got a change, I know, as did Samael, both to their data sheet. So the lion, he got a change that sounds great, and then you realize it makes no sense. And it's a nerf. So his mist-wreathed Shadow Realms rule, as everyone can say quickly, allows him now to arrive on the first turn. However, they have changed the rest of it so that you can't arrive on the first turn. That's because he used to be a command phase when you pick teleport, because it's part of his pick 3. It's not something he has innately. It's on his pick 3. So you used to be able to like say like in 10th edition, it was, it's turn 1. I'm going to choose Mist-Wreathed Shadow Realms. I'm going to get to teleport, and I have Deep Strike. So it's like, whoop, the lion is walking through the forest and coming out in places you didn't understand. He's going on his little walkabout. And they change it now to at the end of your opponent's fight phase, he goes into reserve, like a normal up-down. Less flexible than his old version. But now because you don't select this until the command phase, if you go first, you select it, you go up at the end of your opponent's fight phase on bottom of 1, and you land on top of 2. And if you go second, it's like, I could pick it during my opponent's turn. No, you haven't had a command phase yet. So FAQ'd it to allow it to work on the first turn, added restrictions that it can't work on the first turn. What do you want, GW? Usually I'm willing to say like, the typo is silly, just play it rules as intended. What did you intend? I don't know. Help. One way or another, just like either remove the parentheses at the end or change it back to the old way. I genuinely don't know what to do with this. It's cool. It ends up being a minor nerf because now you have to pre-call your shot instead of getting to be flexible about it. I think pre-calling the teleport on the lion is a little bit too niche for me because if my opponent walks anywhere near me, I don't want to teleport. And if my opponent walks anywhere near me, I really want to have my Feel No Pain Against Mortals and my rerolls up. So I think the lion's going to just kind of end up just like soft locked into his best 2, which is not a bad place to be. That was definitely the niche third option. You've got 2 good ones anyways. So this is totally fine. And he went down 20 points, so it's probably even a net positive. So like not mad about it, just a little confused. Samuel got some changes as well. He now is he gives his unit mobile instead of +1 advance and charge if they had the ability to advance and charge, which is only a nerf in Company of Hunters, but he has mobile all the time, so it's like a buff everywhere else. And then it's not even that much of a nerf because the next change is that the Raven Command Squad, I think, has gained a little support action.
It has.
And
remove leader, add support.
Yeah, remove leader, add support. Pretty good. And that is great because that unit gets +1 advance and charge. So now if Samuel's attached them, you wouldn't get the +2 advance and charge that I admittedly would have paid top dollar for. But it's still good. There are yet more changes. Let's go to the Dark Shroud next. Scroll back down. I'm so sorry, Tucker. I'm doing this off memory, so I'm not going in order. The Dark Shroud is the bomber that used to not be able to bomb. But now it can bomb again. Sorry. Dark Talon. Dark Shroud is a different Ravenwing data sheet that did receive changes, which I will talk about in a second.
Yeah.
All right. The Dark Talon. It drops a bomb once per game. So this is a very rare and unique bomb. Pick a visible enemy unit within 24 inches at the end of the fight phase. I actually kind of like ingressing to set this up, even though you don't get to shoot because you're an aircraft still, so you like ingress and immediately leave. You get to drop the bomb. Pick the enemy unit. On a 1 through 4, it takes D3 mortals, and it has -2 move. And also, it's slowed. And slowed means you can't, sorry. Hold on, this is crazy. Okay. I was doing this wrong, I'm so sorry. Pick a unit, it is slowed. While a unit is slowed in their movement phase, unless that unit remains stationary, roll a d6. On a 1 through 4, it suffers D3 mortal wounds and has -2 move. On a 5+, it's 2d3 mortal wounds and has -3 move. -3 move on a lot of units is the point where they can't actually make a credible fallback move. -2 move is honestly not that hard.
No, it's not that hard. And then -3, if you like surround, you're like halfway around their unit, they might not be able to fall back.
The worst part is that they're going to use those 2d3 mortal wounds to kill that guy. But I hear you. Very much if you just like
there's possible
hit a guard
game-winning
squad
plays.
and you just like wrap a couple of guardsmen in like dudes and you just like get in there, they really might just be like, yes, I move 4 inches, 2-inch engagement range. Oh no,
I can no longer shoot these inner circle companions and Deathwing Knights next to me.
Yep. And then we see that the Dark Shroud just had its ability of give stealth and cover go to give stealth.
Welcome to Skitarii Hunter cohort life.
It went down 10 points, and I gotta say, 70 points is not expensive.
That is cheap for that.
That is cheap. It's still, surprisingly, is more expensive than a Rhino. But
and a truck.
70 points is still pretty cheap. And it doesn't have to have a unit inside. It has fly and it's faster. So there's a lot of upside there. Tons of interesting changes for Dark Angels. I think Dark Angels...
They got a lot of love.
I'm not mad about this. Dark Angels are my favorite of the variant chapters, so I'm really okay with this.
I'm going to speculate wildly, John, if you will allow me.
Please.
Dawn of War 4 is coming out. Soon. I think in August.
Yeah.
And with that,
I hope so.
the headlining Space Marine chapter, do you know what it is?
Well, it is Blood Ravens, but the secondary one is Dark Angels.
It's Dark Angels. And I'm wondering if there's hyping up because they think a lot of people will look at the game and then be like, yay, Dark Angels. They have all these cool exciting worlds. And, Ravenwing needed love.
Yeah.
I like seeing these changes. The thing that impresses me is that because I think a lot of the detachments, they were waiting to see if the 2DP and comboing with something, they became too strong or, we're now just competitive in a good place. Now is the time I hope they look back at the 2DPs and say, okay, this is still subpar. What else can we change like they're doing with Dark Angels here? Hopefully this is something that they'll do going forward.
I really like this for Dark Angels. I will admit I'm surprised that they singled out Dark Angels to be... Because I haven't seen another faction that got like a detachment rework. And like, I'm going to be real here. Dark Angels weren't Ultramarines, but they were in a perfectly viable spot.
Yeah.
Why didn't they go into like World Leaders and do this?
I don't know.
I mean, World Leaders got more points decreases.
That's why I'm speculating.
Okay, you might be right. You really might be right. I'm looking at this and I'm a little surprised. I'm like, why didn't...
It's cool. I want this for more armies.
Yeah, I love this, but like, did Blood Angels and Space Wolves not... I would have said Dark Angels were slightly better than Blood Angels going in. And I was like, I'm just kind of surprised that Dark Angels were the only chapter that got this kind of love. Nice.
It's good to see.
Yeah.
So like I said, we're not going to go through all the different faction FAQs. We kind of talked about some of the significant changes. There are plenty of changes all across each of them. But we are going to talk about in the Warhammer Event Companion, they have decided to update 6 of the Purge the Foe layouts. So 6 Purge the Foe layouts, the ones against Take and Hold and Disruption, become 6 objectives. And their reasoning was that they wanted just an increased diversity of like play styles happening on those boards and not as much Purge player steps onto this big center ruin and is looking at the middle of the board.
Yeah.
And then Recon versus Disruption, 2 of the layouts changed there as well to try and help the balance on that specific mission combo. And then they confirmed that generating command points is capped at 1 per battle round outside of your core CP gaining. So good changes all around there.
I would say so.
The fact that they're willing to update the maps already is a good sign that if anything is awry, they will.
What happened in layouts A and C of Recon versus Disruption? I know that all the take and holds, they like changed to be a split middle.
I am not sure specifically what happened there. I haven't looked.
Sorry, the Purge of Foes.
The Recon versus Disruption.
Can we just scroll to that real quick, Tucker?
Recon
A versus C.
Now, searching for this is not easy.
I was going to control F it, but I said scroll and Tucker took me on face value.
Recon. Let me see if I can find
Can Tucker spell reconnaissance? Finding out in life. Oh, he's got the source right in front of him. He's got this.
Florida born and
Florida
raised
education
right there.
is flawless, I think you'll find. All right. So,
the only one not from
Disruption versus Recon. All right. You know what? This is my fault. I asked Tucker to pull this up without realizing that I had no idea what it looked like before. So, I have no idea what changed here. It's like, aha, I can finally see the changes. I have no idea what happened. They're split middles.
If somebody in
chat could tell us what changed.
Who is playing Recon versus Disruption often?
Yeah, I just realized I've never played this. The one that I played against you one time in like a...
It was Tau versus your Librarius Conclave.
The White Scars.
The White Scars one.
That's right. I don't remember what deployment we were on.
No.
Yeah, bummer. Okay, well, on we go.
The other thing we'll talk about is the Warhammer Teams Event Companion made another significant change, which is that the Defender who is selected to, as the player who is the defender, isn't also the defender in the game between the two players, which meant that they got to pick the board and got the first pre-game infiltrate deploy, which was very strong.
Nobody liked that.
That was very strong. So now you just have to roll
wanted
that like normal.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, so you can't rely on it. You can't be like, hey, I'm going to infiltrate here because
I'm going to build my list around too many infiltrators. Die.
Put all my scouts over here and do all this. Yeah.
Yeah. This is for the best.
And that takes us through a lot of changes. Of course, we've been here with you for quite a while already, and there are a bunch of super chats. So we are going to go through those. If you have any questions for us, please do super chat us. If you enjoy this type of content, do give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and tell your friends about us. All of that massively helps us grow. In addition, leave a comment below letting us know how you're feeling about your faction. We love to hear your comments and also what you're most excited about. And if you want to see more content, we are going to be putting out new battle reports with all of these changes, in addition to kind of list concept videos talking about all the faction changes for each army in the game in our war room. You can check it out on the warroom.vhx.tv for that 3-day free trial, or click the join button here on YouTube. Gold tier gets you access to every single video. We're going to be putting out a lot of videos. If you checked out the war room in the last month and a half, we put out something like 150 plus videos of 11th edition, and we're going to continue at that pace of a lot of videos for every faction. So if you're looking, hey, where do I go? There's a lot of changes. Kind of what baseline should I work from? We got you covered.
All right. So we've got a whole lot of super chats here. I'll go ahead and run through them. First up, we've got the Nurgle Matthew. Thank you so much for that $7.77 super chat. We appreciate you, Nurgle Matt. Thanks for hanging out with us. Next up is Azuma Kazuma asking a very valid question. Can you explain why Templars took a nerf? So I think Templars got buffed on almost all of the uniquely Templar things. The main exception would be the Repex, and then, of course, the generic Space Marine units. I think they were just raising most of the generic Space Marine units for everyone across the board so that they didn't run into yes, Ultramarines are spamming this data sheet. Wait, now Templars are spamming that data sheet with no Templar units.
Yep.
Is what it is. The Repex, Templars had the most abusable Repex outside of Codex Space Marines, and so it got hit less hard, but it certainly was abusable. I think that there were lists that were running multiple of them to high success. I think that was actually a very good Purge the Foe build, maybe even in Teams events. Who knows? So, I understand why, but I think the more unique Templar stuff got enough of a buff that I don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, and if you were taking things like the Emperor's Champion, Hellbricht, and a normal Black Templars and had a Repex or two, you're effectively kind of canceling it out.
You're faring fine in the context of Space Marines. It's still a nerf.
Yeah. But overall, Black Templars have been doing better than expected, which is great to see.
Yeah. Next, Christian L. Has been a member for 51 months. Thank you so much.
Ooh, thank
you. All. How do we get over game burnout? I've yet to play 11th edition, and I haven't really wanted to. Love the videos, though. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you so much.
You want me to go first?
Sure.
So burnout always it's a real thing, and I think that with burnout, there's two pieces of advice I'd give. One is that if you feel burned out, don't force it. When someone says, I'm starting to feel a little burned out about something, I usually tell them, even if they're my clients, like, hey, if you're starting to feel burned out, don't ignore it. Just actually cut off for 2 months or a month or 3 months until you want it again. And that's totally fine. For a hobby, that's always valid. You don't owe anyone else a timeline on these things. But if you want to be excited but aren't as excited as you could be, I think you just have to focus on the parts of the hobby that you enjoy most. And that's going to be different for everyone else. So I'll let you make your own evaluation of yourself on that one. But I always find that when I'm burned out, I focus on going to events to see my friends and playing things that I'll enjoy while I'm there so that the entire weekend is good and I'm not fun time with friends, miserable game. Fun times with friends, miserable game. And just try to keep the fun level high.
Yeah, this is a great question. For me, I think one of the things I kind of that balances my 40K life is that I have other hobbies. So, for example, reading sci-fi books. Yeah, I do. I have a whole library, and I've been going through various books. So I recently read the latest Murderbot book in the Murderbot Diaries. So, anytime I'm like, oh, I need just a little mental break. It's been too all in on 40K. Let me read a book. Or, recently Mechanicus 2 came out. Play a little Mechanicus 2. So having other hobbies can also help, and then you kind of even out that pressure. In addition, like John said, the community aspect of things, just having the social aspect and having a great community and going to your local game store, that'll get you reinvigorated a lot quicker. Overall, is just having those friends who are excited about the game, who want to play the game, who want to share their ideas. that helps a lot. And Art of War obviously is a big community. We got our Discord server where people are always talking 40k nonstop and coming up with new cool things.
Indeed. All right. Next up is from Mutilator Mentor, who's been a member for 4 months. Hey all, thanks for the great content as always. Going to play my first game of the edition with my Far Need Votann in reconnaissance against Warhorde Orks next Sunday on Layout C. Wish me luck. Any last minute tips? That's all you.
Playing against Orks.
Playing against Orks.
So I have been really enjoying Need Guard plus the Far Seekers for reconnaissance as well. The main thing is if you are running Oathbound Speculator, which I assume you are because that is one of the strongest aspects of Need Guard, that Hearthguard unit has to stay alive for multiple activations. So either you drop it, you get the shooting into one unit and you charge into a second unit, or you drop it, shoot a thing, protect it with your Jaegers, whatever screens you need, and then it steps up, shoots again, and charges something the next turn and like protects your line. That unit activating only once is typically not going to be enough against against the Orks.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing is you keep that big Hearthguard unit alive. If you have it on the Thunderkin, then you would be keeping that unit alive as well. Saving up CP very early on and not using it so that on those like 2 key damage turns where you have to do crippling damage, you got to have your reroll 1 stay 1 wound. You got to have your sus 2. So CP economy is very important as well. Make sure Uthar's positioned properly.
Fair enough. All right, next up is from Coco Food. While I'm sad about my Dusty Boys, Thousand Sons, and Tau, my Votann came away pretty good. Bury at 85, Farsight at 70 are pretty incredible. Dare I say auto include. That's a good price tag for those models.
Yeah, I think the two lone, well, I guess Bury is a lone op, but what is his name?
Farsight.
No. The other Votann character, I'm forgetting his name.
Richard just forgot Farsight.
No, Barrack Ironstorm.
I know.
Barrack Ironstorm. Those two at 85, I think they're perfectly competitive. They're in a great spot. And, instead of running an evaluator, maybe that third evaluator, instead you find those 15 points from the drops to Capricus, and then you get this durable lone op. And I like that a lot. He can ingress in, you clear a space with Pioneers and your Arcanists on a flank, open it up, then you ingress him in and attack their objective. And then he's so hard to deal with, because he can stand back up. He's got a surge move. He's just annoying.
It's really good.
Although he's never stood back up for me. I've only rolled the rock.
Because he never dies.
Yeah, no, he does die. And then Farsight, I think his biggest issue is not that the points isn't competitive. 70 points, 100% is, but he cannot be run with an Ethereal. And outside of Monka, the Warshaper doesn't do anything for armies for CP economy. So dropping the Ethereal, he's a backfield screen. He is supposed to give you some amount of CP throughout a game. That's hard to give up. Farsight, of course, can free strat things himself, but you have to be sending CP on him, and if he dies, you don't get it anymore. So,
of course.
Yeah. There's downsides there, but 70 points is 100% competitive. If you're willing to give up the Ethereal, do it.
Very nice. All right, next up is from Frosty Forge.
Whoa, it's been forever.
In the past. Hope you're doing very well, Frosty. Good to hear from you. So Frosty Forge says that with some of these changes, that they've revamped their guard for 11th edition, but the Wraith Knight is calling to them. To answer your question, I do believe that both of those factions are looking at some real improvements. I think that the guard one is improving a lot, but in an infantry direction. So depending, I know you had a good number of tanks. I would say that the tanks did not improve much for the Astra Militarum, but the infantry transports and infantry have, but like guard tanks have not.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that the Wraith Knights going down, a bunch of the support pieces going down, is going to help Eldar out. We'll see where it lands them, but I do think both of them are moving up in the world, although the final position's uncertain.
Yeah, I'd recommend you check out Seer Council, comboed with whatever 1 DP you want, but that
Wraith Knight.
Seer Council has some really cool rules and shenanigans, an amazing CP economy, one of the best in the game, and then they have some of the best Overwatch snap shooting units out there too.
Indeed. All right, next up then is also from Coco Food. Hex Warp is going to 3 detachment points. If I want to run not 3 Demon Prince T-Suns, is SC, I assume that's Sekitar cohort, plus WC, I assume that's Warp Forge Cabal. The way to go, 30 points for 2 Reaper autocannons, worth it on a T-Sun Defiler. If you are playing the T-Sun Defiler, I do believe you are taking the autocannons every day of the week.
If you're going to spend 300 plus points on a hull,
don't let the 30 points be.
Spend the premium to get the best weapons.
Yeah, 100% worth it on that one. I would say so. I think Warpforged Cabal is probably the best 2DP available to T-Sons at the moment. So if you want to run Secretary Cohort, they also do get a nice benefit there. Like previously, it was...
Is Rubrikai 2 or 3?
3.
It's 3. Okay.
This is actually a little bit unfortunate. Every single 1,000 Suns detachment that is about 1,000 Suns is 3DP now. The ones that are 2DP are 1,000 Suns with goats, 1,000 Suns with vehicles, and 1,000 Suns with demons. So I honestly wish that they would change something to get one of the 1,000 Sun Psyker detachments down to 2DP. I feel like
just doing some sort of
even if you have to nerf something to bring it down, I think that'd be interesting. But yeah, I do think that Warforged Cabal still quite solid right now. I know Michael liked it a lot last edition too. Next up, Commissar Philos. How would you start a 2K guard army starting fresh? Ooh, right now I would go. I love Scions. I love the infantry. I would go with like a combined arms detachment plus bridgehead with a good mix of Scions and then a good grip of like infantry and transports like Kazarkin, Katachan, Krieg engineers with a couple of different transports. And I would do a little bit of tank support, like maybe one Rogaldorn battle tank, like the commander, obviously. Maybe two, but honestly, I think one is just fine. And just have it be like a little bit of a shooting core and then a lot of good, fast, rapid shooting elements. Yeah. I actually think that'd be really... That's the kind of guard I want to play. And you can even put in a little bit of Bulgrin.
100% you're going to want to bring Gaunt's. That is an incredible unit right now.
They're great.
Yep.
They're great.
Definitely get that unit.
All right, next up, when can we expect more Subterranean Assault Bugs matches or Bugs matches in general? Ooh, you know what? I'm actually quite excited about Tyranids, so I would... I'll see if I can get more on the schedule for you. I don't think I've done Subterranean Assault in 11th edition yet.
All right.
Did a good amount in 10th, but I don't think I have in 11th. So
teleporting.
We'll see what we can
teleporting guns, baby.
I know. Next, from DMACA Sci-Fi, 2 questions. Am I putting Outriders or Ravenwing Bikes with Samael at 95? Outriders. Every day of the week. Also, is the Lions Mist rule miswritten now? Rapid Ingress on turn 1 is not possible. Rules is written. Yes, I assume it's miswritten, but I could not possibly tell you which direction. So I'm going to go with the more conservative one where I'm not actually allowed to arrive on turn 1 because there's no way to do so, even though the rule says that I could. So that's kind of how I'm going to play unless I see something else. Next up is from GT Raider. Got in here a little bit late behind the stream, but will there be a Bugs Masterclass? And if so, when? Thanks for all that you do. There's discussion behind the scenes of a Tyranid Masterclass, maybe trying to get that in before the end of the year. So I don't think we've picked exact dates yet, but go ahead and keep your eyes peeled in the Art of War Discord. We'll also announce it on our various social media presences when we do. We're certainly keeping an eye on doing it relatively soon.
Yeah, though that kind of like late August, September timeline is probably our next set of masterclasses, whether that's Tyranids or not. John's going to be potentially doing a Teams one as well.
There's
options.
We got some options, yeah.
Votann and Grey Knights are my next 2 as well. Yeah. So we'll let you know. And
Tyranids are on the short list for the next couple. All right, next up is from the Andertech, who has been a member for 35 months. Thank you so much, Andertech.
Thank you.
What on earth are they doing to Space Marines and Ultramarines? Thank you. Someone who understands me. I'm surrounded by hate. But we can't expect much from the team that left Packbound Defilers as a closing edition staple. Well, you know what? I won't shade the team. I do think that this is going to help the internal balance of Space Marines. I am skeptical on the external balance of Space Marines, but Space Marines are one of those armies that always has a large discrepancy between event results and win rate. However, in this time, I will say normally when Space Marines crosses a 50% threshold on the win rate, it's like a sign of the apocalypse and they're winning a bunch of events. They weren't winning that many events, which is surprising to me. But
a lot of their players were playing Orks.
Hey, I would never.
No, you would never.
Never.
Some of those other ones.
Never.
You know who you are.
No. So ultimately, though, I do think that they are still going to be in an okay spot, even though the suppressor change in particular is tilting me off the face of the earth. Mean Raccoon points out that Custodes bikes kept frame or not. The FAQ does not mention bikes losing it, and it was only seen in the Tacoma FAQ. I wonder if they have it in the app.
Yeah.
I would assume that the Tacoma FAQ would be an indication that they clearly don't want Custodes jet bikes to have frame. And to be clear, neither do I.
Let's find
I wonder if
out,
they just like lost frame and forgot to mention it. Because that would make sense. If they just,
do not have frame in the app.
Okay. If they don't have frame in the app, folks, I would recommend not playing it with frame because there's no reason that they would. There was never an FAQ that says add a frame. They just added it. Now they've removed it. Perhaps they could have been a smidgen more
They
clear
removed
on
it
this
from
one.
Screamers as well.
Yes, but Screamers, it said remove a frame.
Oh, it didn't say in that. Yeah.
Yeah. they just cut it without saying anything. So no frame. Next, Zach Point. Oh, hello, Zach. Keep it up,
Zach?
friends. Great content. I get to ask a question with these. What's the best data slate of the past couple of editions? Ooh, okay. I have a favorite in mind. Do you have a favorite in mind?
Yes. You can guess.
I know what yours
can
is.
guess.
Yours is going to be the September 2025.
Boom! It was Admech, baby. We were back. Finally, it took over 2 years to get good rules.
All right.
Then I won Worlds.
You did. I approach this a little differently. Richard is a creature with love in his heart, and I am fueled by hate. And so my favorite FAQ would be that time when Phantasm got buried underground and shot.
Fan what? I've never...
Phantasm.
Never even knew her.
Kill it. Thanks you so much, Zach, for the support. We really appreciate it. Of course, Zach and I will be talking frequently for the next couple of days as we get ready to turn in our WTC list soon. Very exciting times.
Good luck with that, Zach.
Oh, boy. Tom Cat, how GW found a reason for making an unused model like the Pain Boss more expensive is amazing. All right, Orks deserved a lot. I wouldn't say that the Pain Boss deserved it.
Yeah.
I don't know what was happening.
I've never seen a Pain Boss.
I've
seen Pain Boys.
Life.
So many boys.
To be fair, the House Pain Boss that I painted up like 2 or 3 years ago, has actually gotten a lot of play because Michael didn't want to paint up a third Pain Boy. That's it. I've never
Honestly,
seen
it's a
this
little
thing.
offensive that the Pain Boy doesn't have the threshold requisition on it.
You
where it
know,
increases for the more that you take.
on. How
Like,
did
what
that
are we doing?
not happen?
Yeah,
How does that not happen? Matt Knight, Thunderkin in 3s or 6s, and Grav or Conversion. And that's all you.
Great question. So depends on what detachment that you're playing. If you are playing one of the ones where you get a great rule to go alongside them, so that would be like the Need Guard, you get Sustain 2. You're going to want the Conversion unit because you can pump out a massive load of damage on people. Mercenary Oathband, you can get a Sustained 1 enhancement. So if you're not running Hearthguard, once again, you can put that on them. And then Sustained 1 with lethals, crit 4s. It's a lot. And then the other one, Brandfast, you can get the enhancement for Sustained 2 if you spend yield points or disembark from a transport. Those are the ones where Conversion is amazing. And then Brandfast is also great because the detach rules, if you're within 6 of a transport, you get Sustained 1. Conversion, all up in any of those examples. Outside of that, I would prefer Grav. And then I typically prefer to have at least 1 6-man. And the 3-mans are a little bit less valuable if you're running Farseekers because you have the strat to strip cover. So you don't have to use a 3-man to shoot without stripping cover first. It's way less efficient. So I'm about 6-mans.
All right, cool. All right. Next up is from Lord of Pies. One thing that's not said but that they are excited about is that the Necron Murdermind restriction was removed so you can attach Cryptex to lead destroy units. Yeah, I actually got tripped up on this. A lot of the enhancements that say you may now lead a thing, they changed that lead ability to be in the MFM.
Yeah.
I got really scared because they removed you can lead Blood Crushers from the World Leader enhancement. I'm like, why would they nerf World Leaders?
Yeah.
And I just saw, I was like, oh, no, it's
shifted
just,
where
they
it
just
is.
shifted it over. That's fine. And that means it lost the restriction too, which is pretty cool. Next up, Red Rum. John the Toxicrene went down into points. # build the Creen. You know what? I do have to get that done soon. I will say that the
Subterranean
odds,
Assault game's coming up.
I know. The odds that Toxicrene gets built or painted and therefore played before WTC, it's not 0, but if you can imagine a number smaller than 0, that's what it is. However, after WTC, I think it's fair game, and perhaps even ode to the wonderful Tyranid community. By the way, rules for the new Exodites went up on Warcom. Do we have an Eldar player on the live stream tomorrow? Nick, maybe?
Nick.
Oh, that's
Nick
great.
should be on live
We're cutting
stream.
a little bit into John's lunch break, so I don't know if I want to go look at Exodite rules right now. But Tucker's over there fiending for the pub sub. I get it. But maybe tomorrow on the live stream we can make sure that
I'm not
Nick
even
covers...
slightly hungry, John.
I am. Maybe we can make sure that Nick covers the Eldar Exodite rules tomorrow.
Yeah,
I think
we'll do
that'd
it tomorrow.
All right,
in the
good.
live stream.
Yep, that would be good.
10 a.m. Our time.
Heck yeah.
Eastern time.
Next up, 99 Walker has been a Warrior member for nearly 2 years. Thank you so much, 99 Walker.
Thank you
Hope
so
all
much.
the Art of War guys are all good. We are great. You know what? Anytime we got new content, we are excited. Next up is Greg Gonzalez, love the info. Thank you so much. We're glad we can help.
Thanks so much. Appreciate you.
Ricky67 potentially trolling me, saying, what is so wrong with equatorial hordes? Which I would think would be either equatorial or Ecuadorian. But in this case, surely equatorial. So please don't ban me. Ricky67, we will never ban you. No, and not after that one time you super chat me way too much money to sing on the channel.
Never forget.
Yeah, it's, it just doesn't feel very orky. The Coding Wombat has been a member for 10 months. Thank you so much. Stasis Bomb no longer has a once per battle modifier. Okay, awesome. That's much better then. Dark Talon time?
Dark Talons?
Dark Talon time?
We'll see.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
Karate Path. Hey all. Bleagar Veterans got -1 to hit, which is much better. And Uriel can lead Victrix again. I am very happy about that, even with the points cost change. I'm putting Reclamation and Vengeful Host together now. Your take. I think Reclamation Force and Vengeful Host is interesting. Reclamation needs a damage buff. That's like its problem within the context of Ultramarines. And so getting something from Vengeful Host is interesting. I'm a little bit sad that Vengeful Host came out and then both Inceptors and Vanguard Veterans went up, which I guess maybe that's why.
Yeah, they went up slightly.
Wasn't much. Yeah. 5 points. I'm not going to just, I'm really not trying to take 5-point hits while I'm also taking the 80 points that are falling on my head from the rest of the list. I do think that's an interesting thing, though. Adding a 1 DP for damage is important to that detachment, so I really hope it works out well. Very taken hold list. Very taken hold. Next up, Danielson, thank you so much. Has been a member for 11 months. Very excited about World Leaders. Got some much needed drops. Our economy was in a rough spot. Yeah, World Leaders deserve the changes they got. So I'm optimistic that will put them in a much better place. And if not, it's a good stepping stone to do it again next time.
It's great timing too, because Jack hype is way up.
Oh, Jack's very excited.
In addition, he's actually starting the World Leaders Masterclass in about a week's time.
Oh, so, that's very exciting.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, okay. And then Lol Chaos asks, is Librarius still worth it for Shadowmark Ravenguard, or is Vengeful Host or Fulgaris the new way? I actually like Vengeful Host and Shadowmark a lot. All those jump back infantry, even Ethan Sean just running around as a guy. He really appreciates reroll 1s with his weapon skill 2, sustained 2, twin linked lightning claws. The hit roll was like the last gap between him and his opponent taking damage. Yeah. He really appreciates that. I actually quite like Shadowmark in that space.
And he went down a bunch of points, right?
I think he went back. I think he went down in the last update. Yeah,
last update.
That's right. David Anderson with another super chat. Solid changes for Templars. Now Iron Templars don't have to dig out opponents with Purge. Bastion gets a lift with key melee units. Yeah, I do think that's true, and I do think Iron Templars. I've run Iron Storm in some practice games as Purge with Foe. I have not tried it as Taken Hold, but I've played a lot of other Taken Hold, so I'm kind of down to try it, honestly. Yeah. So that'll be very interesting. Parental Mantor has been a member for 24 months. Thank you so much for the support. Is Scintillating Legion dead? Yes. What do I do for my poor homeless birds? They're dead. Other questions, though. What is the best path for Blood Angels off the rip? Storm Grace or Vengeful Storm? And 2, best guess what armies are the biggest winners? Okay. Actual answer is that I do not think that Scintillating Legion is dead. It did take a significant hit. I still think probably about an Ultramarine-sized hit, a little less than a CSM-sized hit. And then less than a T-Sun-sized hit. But the birds do a ton of damage. They are very good still, and you are saving points by not taking that enhancement puppet tier that you used to. So that offsets some of the costing.
The rerolls are crazy.
Your army's not actually going up that many points. You're going up like 40 to something points. And the truth is that oftentimes when I saw Sint being played, it was really nice to have the one puppeteer, and that is a crutch that they were losing. But sometimes they would just bring out 3 birds anyways, and you'd be relying on the Bellicor aura, and I think that's still very valid. Yep. Next up, within that question, best path for BA off-rip, I would say Stormlance and Vengeful Host. That is my personal pick. Now, I'm sure Jack is going to have his own opinions, and I bet in the war we're going to release some list videos in the coming weeks with what do we want to do. So stay tuned. It's entirely possible we have something like that coming up soon. I'd even say it's likely. My off the cuff is that you want the real ones to hit on your Sangard from Vengeful Hosts, and you really like the change to Stormlance because it gives you an ability to take
the Lance
Stratagem, thank you, which means you can have another jump pack unit like Vanguard Veterans with Captain, Lance, reroll 1s to hit. That's actually quite good. Yep. So I think that's what you're really looking at as being very good. also gives you access to take and hold instead of the disruption that Stormlance is currently trapped in. YT Lux, are Admech just the Halo Screed faction now?
No, absolutely not. So any of the 2 DPs like Skadari Undercohort still with Lords is amazing. Rad Zone with Lords. You have Cybernetica with Lords. There's a variety of different options. So you can absolutely play Halo Screed, and I think it's way better now with priority assets. But I think our 2 DPs adding Lords of the Forge in are also excellent because Lords is a great detachment.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what's next for Admech.
Yeah, this increases diversity. It doesn't restrict it.
Yeah, that's quite good for y'all. And probably needed.
Yeah, for sure.
Next, Warhammer Ace. Possess Slaughterband and Brazen Engine Warlords. How would you arm a Defiler knowing that it has access to the Ignore Modifier stratagem? Autocannons. Folks, if you are running a Defiler in one of the 5 factions that has access to the Defiler, you take those autocannons.
Pay the money. Pay the man the money.
Pay the man to kill the man. You just...
That's it.
You gotta do it. You take the autocannons every day of the week.
Nick actually took a game where he had to cut 10 points. He cut down to the missile launcher and immediately regretted it in the game. He was like, what more? I would have been.
Tales all the time. Yeah. I'm sure he shot something T11, was wounding on 5.
No, he shot my purifiers and left them on one guy.
No.
Getting me kill more and denying him kill.
Heartbreaking. Oh, awesome. Man. All right. Legacy WP, $20 super chat. Thanks so much for the support. How much for an Imperial Agents masterclass? With these buffs, I think we need to get Folger playing agents at another event so that he can be properly educated on Veiled Blade.
That is 100% true. We have Folger doing the Custodes Masterclass starting this week.
Ooh.
And potentially in the future, maybe we'll have Agents. So if you are excited about that, because Agents is, of course, a niche faction, if you're excited and would sign up for something like that, definitely reach out to us and let us know, because the more people who do, the more likely we would actually offer that.
Absolutely. All right. Maisie X1 has been a member for 48 months. That is just heroic. John, did you notice that Frenzied Host lost the tag officially so you can combine with Court? I did notice that. So Frenzied Host and Court of the Phoenician are now able to be combined. As a matter of fact, we have a game that we've planned where I'm going to try out some Court of the Phoenician as Take and Hold, because I really like Take and Hold. But I would say that after that is done, I could probably get a little Frenzied Host and Court of the Phoenician action going now that we know that that's going to happen. So, yay. Thank you, GW, for clarifying that. Ricky67 with another super chat. It's not a Richard stream if he doesn't have a sudden outburst after being so demure all stream.
People
That's
love
to
it.
turn the volume up to max to hear. Rest in peace, ear. Ricky67, I'm so sorry. That will absolutely never happen again today. And tomorrow, no promises.
Don't get me started on the September 2025 balanced data slate.
Richard, I have heard you talking about it in your sleep. Red Drum has been a member for 42 months. Thank you so much. Tell us, please, what do you think about the edition so far? What armies you think need more help moving forward? And what rule adaptations will the game need? And yes, die Phantasm die. Okay, so what I think about the edition so far, I quite like it. I'm having a really fun time. I'm really enjoying 11th edition. I think that the mission structure is an overall improvement to what we've had in the past, and so I am generally quite optimistic. I will say, what I want most is a 3-month stretch without balance patches. I think the balance patch that they released today, totally reasonable to do it at this time of the year. And you know what? Better than not. But I am very excited for when I can have I can plan for my event next month kind of thing. Because I got to say, WTC list to do 5 days. And I deleted my WTC list off my phone this morning because it was unsalvageable. Like, okay, we're starting from scratch, folks. I will find something else. Don't worry about it. I got you, Team USA. It's going a little bit crazy. But as far as what I want to see more adaptations of, I'm really excited to see how the core rules actually change over the next year. Because I think we saw that in 10th edition, most of the core rule changes for 10th edition happen in the first 6 months to a year, where we saw things like Dev Wound spilling over and this and that. Like, I have some theories about the go to ground rule that I think it needs to change. I actually really don't like the go to ground rule because I think it's unnecessarily combative between the players. So like that's one thing that I'm hoping for. Actually, that would be my single biggest request, is that go to ground stops being like I'm partially obscured by a thing, because we do get to this point of like, oh, but if I rotate my choppa, I can get it behind, or oh wait, if I put a different incursor there instead of that incursor, I could have put the one that had the knife sticking out, then I would have gotten go to ground. It's like, brother, we're halfway through my shooting phase. What do you mean? like you can't change the detection range now. I would actually really like to be wholly in terrain feature. GW, that's free advice. You can just have that. I don't need credit. Just be wholly in the terrain feature. So if you toe on, you don't get it. If you're wholly on, you get it. That's probably a small buff. But I also think as the edition goes on, we've seen a lot of the new rules have detection range modifiers. We'll see if the new codexes continue that theme. I won't be surprised if they do. And at that point, I think it'd be very valid to just let that be a rule.
For me, I would like to reduce the overall point scoring just down a tad. Just down a tad. I love the edition. I'm having a great time, but I wish scoring was just a little bit harder to get, your 90s and 100s.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more granular, I think, on some of the scoring, both primary and secondary, would go a long way.
Yeah, I think secondary is at like maybe 12 per turn. Not 15.
Yeah, I'd also like to see that you can discard twice per game instead of once per game. There was a game where I played over the weekend, and first 2 games, no problem scoring 40 plus. And then the last game, 28 secondary points, even though I was in a dominant board position just because I happened to draw the ones that were very difficult to score, even towards the later
wrong
part.
time. Yeah, fair enough. Overall, though, quite optimistic. It's early edition, so nothing's perfect yet. But I will say that even with the changes that we had to have today, game balance on launch much better in 11th than in 10th or 9th, I would say.
Completely different.
Yeah,
like
much
it is
better on that.
The game is balanced. There's things that are better and worse, but compared to 10th edition where there's things that were absolutely broken, unplayably, like bad armies like Admech and Deathguard at the time, and Votann. Different world.
Much better. One final super chat from Karate Path saying that Vanguard veterans got new 2-damage weapons. I know, it's great. I think that helps things like Shadowmark a lot because Shrike needs homies, and the old ones were not up to cut. I'm going to be real. So I'm very happy for that. And I think that Shadowmark really benefits from what Vengeful Host build. I actually would prefer that to Librarius given the context of the nerfs that have happened. All right, folks, I think we got it.
Thank you so much, everybody. We really appreciate you. Leave us a comment below letting us know what you're most excited for. And if you enjoyed the stream, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends about us. In addition, if you want to see that additional content from us, check out The Worm at theworm.vhx.tv for that 3-day free trial, as well as click the join button here on YouTube if you prefer that platform instead. Gold tier gets you access to all the content, same as our VHX platform, and you get access to our international Discord community with just popping off with tons and tons of 40K content every single day. We're going to be putting out faction videos for all the armies over the coming weeks. In addition, we are going to be putting out a lot of battle reports as well. We got some cool ones, including featuring Mr. Folger Piles. And
Mr. Folger's paying us a visit. I'm excited for that.
Exactly. So we got a lot of cool stuff coming up. Join us and get yourself in a great position to learn the game and become your best. Otherwise, we appreciate you all. Thank you so much. And we'll send you off with a little commercial from our war room.
From the moment I understood the weakness of my Warhammer gameplay, it disgusted me. I crave the confidence and knowledge of experts. I aspire to the positivity and excellence of Art of War. Do not cling to the falsehoods of blaming dice and the weakness of your faction. Join Art of War and take your Warhammer journey to the next level.